And EG with the Pennant Grace coming up in just a few moments. Talk to Braves baseball. And then later this afternoon, 2 o'clock, the Meltdown. What can we expect on the Meltdown today, Tim Melton?
Going to be talking about that Bring Her Back movie that Tyler went to go see last night. Looking forward to that, as well as some other casting news and notes. And they got an awful redesign of Jason Voorhees. We'll be talking about at 2 o'clock today.
Oh, no.
It's an awful redesign.
Any chance somebody can locate a copy on DVD of Play Misty for me?
There's a chance.
It could be in one of those boxes you open, yeah.
Could be. Unlikely, but possible.
At Meltdown 247 on YouTube. Set your alerts for that one as well. Watch Melton and Tyler and EG talk about all those things. All right. So we got a lot more for you, but we'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. Have a great afternoon. Thank you for joining us on the next round.
As we all know, there's no off season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Auburn, join us over on thebarnauburn.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on thebarnauburn.com.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com. Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there. It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Think about the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit nextround.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect southern night. Nextround.store. The memories are waiting. Hey friends, if you're looking to expand your business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us at sales@nextroundlive.com to be part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential consumers on our ever-expanding platform. Let the Next Round help take your business to the next level. Get more information by emailing us at sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Since you listened to my last message so well and got rid of those cargo shorts and stained t-shirts, it's time to replace them with Rowback. Go to rowback.com and click on the refreshed collection to find all that you need for an EG-approved wardrobe. It includes pieces that will have you ready to hit the golf course after a busy day of meetings, or comfy favorites for travel and working from home. Get 20% off using code TNR20. See, I'm saving you some money. If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the next round. As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Alabama, join us over on covercrimson.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on covercrimson.com.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, another day of the Next Round. Welcome in. I'm Ryan Brown. He is Lance Taylor. Jim Dunaway, represented by the model on the far left if you're watching us.
He's wearing the same thing, back-to-back stallions.
Take a shower, you bum. Dunaway continues his vacation. He'll be back with us Tuesday. We welcome you in. Thank you for joining us wherever you are watching or listening throughout the world.
Is that an
Live
HR
or on
violation,
demand?
by the way? I wanted to ask you that.
I'm sorry, what?
You told Dunaway to take a shower. Is that an HR violation if you make employees take a shower? I mean, it should be common sense.
It should be.
No, the reason I ask, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. We used to work with somebody way back in the day.
We did.
And we even had an employee that would go put the they weren't stick-ups. What were they? The little the plug-in
air freshener or whatever
the
type
plug-in
things.
freshener.
Yeah.
She would actually walk into the office and plug into his office.
That was a
Do you remember that?
That's what we like to call passive-aggressive. But yeah, she would plug them into the hallway outside his office.
Definitely a Dunaway move. But I'm just saying,
it was not Dunaway that did it, to be fair.
If you came out straight and said, look, we're going to need you to start showering, would that be an HR violation or is that legitimate?
Yeah. I remember having, I guess I was in high school, and a teacher having to tell a kid, did you put your deodorant on today? Which is a nice way of saying, I can tell when you don't put your deodorant on, right? So I don't know if those two things connect, but
I mean, again, it's common sense. But if you need to be told, I guess you need to be told. I don't know.
Yeah,
So Dunaway.
It's a good question.
Change.
Take a shower, you bum. But thank you for listening or watching wherever you are. If you're on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. Share us wherever you can, whether it's Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever you call it. You could share us there. And those of you that are listening on podcasts, we always appreciate it. And if you're not, we ask you to at least go to Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Google, wherever you can find us. And like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads. That helps us a ton when you do that. We greatly appreciate it. Boy, a lot to get to in the show today.
You know, it's always exciting when I walk in and I see one of our, and for people, obviously you can't see our layout. There's quite a few people that have been through the studios before, but we've got 4 60, 65-inch monitors like the two behind me down low where we're seeing current programming. We see ourselves on the far left.
Yeah, we see our feed and then some other stuff and then some TV. And one of the TVs is not on, or it's on, but it's not on. It's on a screensaver, which must mean we had a power outage last night.
But that screensaver on the top, well, yeah, that one. But the top right TV where we can see guests that come on, there's always a still shot of something you guys are going to get to, and I'm very, very intrigued. It's some girl that actually has graduated, I'm going to guess college, but I have no idea where we're going here.
No, it's not just some girl. It's Scott Forrester's daughter. And
See,
that's high school, not college.
Is that fair, though, that I can't tell?
The microphone's blocking her face, and I knew what was on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Scott's in she was, I think, the valedictorian, I believe. So I think she graduated first in her class. Don't want to step out too far here, Melton. Do you know?
I love when you give facts about Scott's daughter because they're typically always a little bit off.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know you gave facts about her a lot.
You were sending her to some college that didn't exist.
That is true. I had her going to Carson Newman, and it's Freed-Hardman. Yep, that's right. That is Melton is absolutely correct about that one.
I'm not even going to call Scott sneaky smart. We know Scott's smart.
Scott's very
he doesn't
smart.
talk a lot. He's a man of limited words.
He talks a lot to me. I don't know what
he just doesn't.
Well,
like
we just
us,
don't get to
is
hear
what
it because we're protected by the screen there. Yeah. But I thought this might be, this is so strange, because I was reading an article this morning. Walker Buehler got tossed last night arguing balls and strikes.
Right.
And then Alex Cora comes out, and Alex Cora gets tossed. And it's like now he's missed back-to-back games because he was at the graduation of his daughter graduating from BC. And I was like, are we going to get to Alex Cora's daughter graduating from BC? But I guess there's a ton of people graduating this time of year.
This is young Haley Forrester.
Okay.
So
could have gone any direction here.
We'll get to the end of her speech a little bit. Scott said she graduated last night. That's why Scott's off, and Tyler is in his spot. Taylor Corn handling social media. Emily Grace McWhorter out covering the SEC. She was at Nick's Kids yesterday. Emmy award-winning Nick Saban.
Yep.
How about that? Did you ever think you would say that? Emmy award-winning Nick Saban?
I did not. Look, a man of many talents. We've said it before. I really believe Nick Saban could head the majority of Fortune 500 companies. He could be an incredible motivational speaker. Maybe wouldn't even have to involve football. I think anything this guy touches, because he's so dedicated, he's so driven, he has got a plan in place all the time. It doesn't surprise me. And look, he was a natural. I think the thing that people worried about was does he have a good enough personality?
Yeah. And I thought it came out a lot. I mean, he showed a lot more personality than I ever thought. I mean, there was the scene in Penn State where they were wanting him to take the tie off, and he did this big thing. He took the tie off. He had some fun with the mascot heads and stuff like that. He had some funny one-liners, some zingers. So he showed the personality we were always told behind the scenes he had that you never saw as a coach, right?
You just got to be able to shake that personality. I think everybody's got it, even the really tight introverts of the world.
Yeah.
And, it comes out with football for him. I used to have this client, and he was so quiet. I don't know if you ever met him. This is probably, he was in the beer industry. It's probably 15, 20 years ago. But met him the first couple of times, so quiet. And then we end up going out for drinks one night. And, boy, when he turned that corner, it was a completely different personality.
Oh, yeah, you got a little drink in him?
Yeah, but it wasn't like you get kind of the guy that gets the empty, dark-eyed Jaws look.
Yeah.
Where the empty eyes, where you don't know where it's going to go, and, he's really not in a good space when he drinks. He just was such a fun guy when he drank, and it was just a completely different personality. So the alcohol shook him a little loose.
Yeah.
For Nick Saban, it's football.
It was college game day, man. Yep. He got off the daily, weekly grind of getting ready for a game. He started grinding in a different thing, and nobody loses on game day. You don't ever have to worry about a loss, man. You just throw those picks out there. Very few people remember who you even picked anyway until they show the record.
Well, I did remember people saying, man, Nick Saban sucks at picking.
I thought I remembered he wasn't great.
Yeah.
Most coaches, by the way, are bad at it.
No, most coaches, most players.
Oddly.
Yeah, it is interesting because it seems like they just go power. It's like, and this does make sense, they go pure eye test a lot of times, which should equate to winning the majority of the time.
But doesn't always.
But does not.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this about Nick Saban on that desk now that we know Lee Corso is going to be tapping out, and he'll have his final hurrah, I guess, week one.
Reports on that in a moment. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to ask, because that is Corso's desk. Herb Street, Reese, they haven't been there for the duration of this.
They would all tell you Lee Corso's the godfather of that show, yeah.
So I think with Saban coming in, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I think you watched Game Day more than I did, but Saban seemed like one of these guys, which a lot on, including, well, McAfee's over the top, but it's your thing, Corso, so they were always going to back off a little bit.
Yep.
But now with Corso gone, do we even get more Saban, more personality, more
good
content?
Question. Yeah, I mean, I think McAfee's probably going to do, for better or worse, people are going to like that or hate that, is going to take more of the entertainment mantle, and he's going to be the guy that whatever personality you have in the final pick, he's going to be the one that provides it. I don't think he's going to do the headgear. He's already kind of got his own thing he does where he kind of does the rope-a-dope, like he baits the crowd into thinking he's going one way and he goes the other, or sometimes he goes that way. I don't know. But I think that's what you're going to see out of McAfee. And Brett McMurphy reports where you're going to see it week one. Now, biggest game week one, there's no doubt, right? Biggest game week one.
Well, I mean, you say no doubt. I don't think it's no doubt. I think there are two massively equal games.
Okay. The two biggest games week one then are?
Ohio State hosting Texas.
Which we know is the Fox Big Noon Kick.
and then the battle of Death Valleys with LSU heading to Clemson to take on the Tigers.
They're in the South Carolina version of Death Valley, and that's ESPN night game.
Well, you give me, everybody's going to say it's Texas, Ohio State. I think equally important is LSU and Clemson. I think those 4 teams are for sure 4 of the best 10 teams in college football, and they might be 4 of the top 5 teams.
If that was your college football playoff Final Four, you would not be stunned.
Not at all.
If it's Ohio State, Texas, LSU, and Clemson. I would say, if you made me say, now with the college football playoff, neither loss is a debilitating loss, right?
I would rather watch LSU Clemson, and I'll tell you why after you get to your point.
I think I had to. I think it's a more important game for LSU and Clemson, and here's why. LSU never wins these games, and if they lose another one, you just wonder mentality-wise what that does to LSU. And there are plenty of stumbling blocks left on that schedule to get them to 3 losses and out of the playoffs. If Clemson loses, there's not enough. I don't think there's enough stumbling blocks on Clemson to miss the playoffs there on the remainder of their schedule if they lose that LSU game.
The problem for Clemson could become this, though, if they do absorb one conference loss and they're sitting there at 10-2 with a bunch of 10-2 teams, and your only really barometer is, they lost at home to LSU. And so I do think a 10-2 ACC could be kept out. So I think it's important for Clemson in that regard. And also, this is the first time Clemson, it feels like in 5 or 6 years, has really been on the map as a true national championship contender. So I think Dabo, they want to make a statement early on. Cade Klubnik viewed as maybe the best player coming back in college football. So I think that game, and obviously what you said for LSU, is spot on. On the other side, Ohio State and Ryan Day, he got his national championship.
That's right. Yep. All that pressure's off.
Texas in year 1 played for an SEC championship, won a postseason game. Won 2 postseason games. So, there's definitely pressure on Texas this year. I think it is national championship or bust. But the other game feels a little bit more important to me.
College Game Day, according to Brett McMurphy of the Action Network, and Brett is very well connected, is not going to be at either one of those games. This is Lee Corso's final College Game Day, so a lot of people are interested where it will be because he'll do his final headgear pick.
So he gets to pick, right?
Well, I would imagine they lean heavily on him. As we mentioned, it's going to be weird for him to be at Texas Ohio State simply because, due to that being a Fox game, Game Day has to finish inside the stadium. There is no crowd outside the stadium, and it just, the headgear pick is just not the same inside the stadium. So we discussed the possibility of going to LSU and Clemson, being that it's just as big a game and it's on their network too. But I would say that Lee Corso has probably had a hand in this. According to Brett McMurphy of the Action Network, Alabama, Florida State is the site of Week 1's College Game Day.
Well, look, if you know Lee Corso and the history, there's obviously a tie-in there being in Tallahassee.
Yep.
I am interested, though, because that game seems like a blowout.
What's the point spread?
12.5.
12.5. Alabama, a 12.5 point favorite on the road. I mean, it's probably, of those 3 games, going to be the worst of the 3 if I had to guess. I mean, if you said the biggest winning margin, I would guess Alabama over Florida State more than whoever wins Clemson, LSU, or Texas, Ohio State.
Yeah, I'll say this. The biggest story, if any of those games are blowouts, if Texas was to get blown out Week 1 against Ohio State,
massive story,
and Arch those 3 interceptions,
massive story.
That would be a pretty incredible story. On the other side, if Alabama wins this game by 21, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised.
Nobody's surprised.
I do agree. I think both of those games that we talked about on the front end, the 2 best premier games, are going to be 1-possession games.
But I can see with Corso's tie to Florida State, if he told them I'd like to finish there, if you're ESPN, you say, okay, absolutely, right? I mean, there's no reason not to.
Yeah, I mean, if he's like, hey, we want to go to the Coliseum to take on Missouri, to watch Missouri State and USC,
right?
I think we love you, Lee, but we can't do that. I know that's your final wish on set, but we can't do that.
Let's do something else. So
Florida State, Alabama, Brands, obviously his tie. It makes sense.
That's according to Brett McMurphy, the Action Network. Brett is very well connected in college football, and especially in the state of Florida. Brett has made his home in Florida, so he's really tied with those Florida schools. So something tells me somebody in the Corso camp or the Florida State camp has tipped Brett off that's where Game Day is going to be. So there you go. Looks like Alabama, Florida State to start it out on ESPN's College Game Day. They'll obviously do the Week 0 but Coach Corso will not be part of that, from Ireland, which is Iowa State, Kansas State. Am I right about that?
Yep.
That's the Ireland game.
Kansas State 3.5-point favorite. We're starting to really lock down these numbers.
I do too.
How many days out are we?
Dunaway's not here to tell me this, but I think Sunday is 90 days because I always look where 90 days falls because I like to pay tribute to the great Doug Layton, one of our
it's
mentors.
all I can think of when I hear 90 days on anything.
Doug used to always say, "But Doug, how long to football? 90 days. Oh, it's going to be forever." And Doug would say, "Go out and take out a 90-day note. It'll be here before you know it." That was Doug Layton's line. I'm not saying it was the best comedic line of all time, but he used to say it a lot, so I like to pay tribute to Doug by doing that.
It is true.
Yeah, you take out a 90-day loan.
Like 90 days if you're in General Pop and,
slowest time of your life.
St. Clair County.
Yeah.
At maximum lockup. 90 days probably drags.
90 days until Christmas, long time. 90 days to the final day of school, long time. 90 days till football season, long time. 90 days to your first payment on a car.
Comes quick.
NH3425 with a donation. What do we call that? It's not a donation.
Super chat.
Super chat. Thank you, Melton, with a fan-funded super chat there. It says, remember Brian Kelly, 0-3 in season openers at LSU, twice to Florida State and once to USC. That's right. LSU themselves, they've lost 5 straight, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. No. Yeah, I think they have. Okay, so Brian Kelly, let's go through them. Last year to SC.
Yeah, Florida State and Florida State.
Florida State.
Yep.
And both just really incredible endings the way.
The one Florida State was a missed extra point, right?
Missed extra point, and then there was a muffed punt right before that.
Yeah.
Obviously, Miller Moss was just pinpoint last year.
That was another one where they had a ball-in-hand chance to win at the end.
Yeah.
They have not handled the end of those games well.
This is, fair to say, the most difficult of those games?
Yeah, because it's a true road game. I mean, one was in the Superdome, one was in
I guess we didn't realize
World Stadium,
how
and
good
one was
Florida
in Vegas.
State was going to be 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, that was when they almost made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Or they would have if they hadn't lost the quarterback.
Yeah, if Jordan Travis doesn't go down, they definitely make the playoffs. But I do think on the road, at least going into the game, this is the most difficult game of any of the openers for Brian Kelly.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you on that. All right, we got a lot to get to. Peter Burns is going to join us in about 15 minutes as we talk SEC baseball tournament. One game got delayed last night. You did get 3 games to completion. We'll discuss that in a second. But first, tonight, while those games are going, we'll be over at Odie's.
Odie's Tavern. I was going to mention the fact I had another point on Odie's, but I'll remember it. I'll get back to it a little bit.
You let me know.
Get there a little early. We'll start a little after 8 o'clock. Enjoy some of the great food from Rodney Davis, the award-winning wings, great burgers, fantastic sandwiches, including that Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light, and, of course, the Odie's famous cup cocktails in those huge styrofoam cups. Come see us tonight, though. Odie's Team Trivia, the original location in Crestline, newest location over in Edgewood, Birmingham Institution. Go see Will Haver and that great staff. It's Odie's Tavern.
Also, we tell you all the time, urological health, whether you're a male or female, it is very important to stay on top of it. Your urological health can go unnoticed and can cause some serious issues. Again, we hear it all the time in the news, and you hear it again with President Biden and his battle of prostate cancer. Not a great diagnosis there. You can catch those things early if you stay on top of it, though. That's why we stress to get into Urology Centers of Alabama. Urology Centers of Alabama, and get that checkout. Whether it's prostate health, kidney stones, all those things, they can take care of you at UCA. 205-930-0920. UrologyCentersAlabama.com is the website. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. 205-930-0920 for Urology Centers of Alabama. UCA bringing you part of the show. By the way, in the Emmys last night, now Nick Saban is 1 Emmy behind Jim Dunaway, and I think 26 behind Rick Carley. But
not going to catch Carley.
I don't think he's going to catch Rick. He may catch Dunaway.
Yeah,
though.
I mean, if you gave him 5 more years.
Yeah. I never thought we'd be having this discussion. We used to have, can Nick Saban catch Bear Bryant? Now it's, can Nick Saban catch Jim Dunaway?
Yeah.
It's a bizarro world we're living in here. Also, the Emmy for the best live sports broadcast went to the SEC on ABC. First year of the SEC on ABC. CBS has disappeared. The main game on ABC / ESPN, and they won the Emmy for best live sports broadcast. I would have to look, Lance. I don't know what they were
who
going
else was
against.
in the category.
I can find it.
And I'd also like to know who was Saban's the newcomer?
I think it was best analyst.
Okay, I thought it was like best newcomer, but I could have seen that wrong.
Could be. Oh gosh, best live sports broadcast. Boy, that got me in. That got me in a place I didn't need to go right there. It's not like porn. No, it's not porn or something. It was just a bunch of stuff that I didn't need to look at. All right, here we go. Sports Emmys. This is the 45th annual. Boy, I tell you what, this is going to give me a lot of crap I don't need to.
Here we go. We got Tyler with the update
thank you,
on what
Tyler.
Saban
Thank you,
won for.
somebody.
Go for it, Tyler.
So Saban's award was for outstanding personality / emerging on-air talent.
Okay, that's a broad category.
But it's kind of the newcomer.
Yeah, okay, I could see that. An outstanding live sports series was what.
But who was he up against? Do you have the other guys?
I do not.
Category? Okay.
Yeah,
I wanted to see the nominees.
I know Ryan Fitzpatrick was one of them.
He should have beat Ryan Fitzpatrick.
You didn't like Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Not a huge fan.
Yeah.
Respected the fact that the guy played as many years for many teams as he did.
Yeah.
These awards so prestigious that we don't know what the categories are or who's nominated for them.
You're absolutely correct. But if I had,
But yeah, how many different Emmys are there?
Trophy,
I mean, are there the legitimate Emmys and then
Well, these are the sports Emmys.
Yeah.
These are the sports Emmys.
Yeah, but I don't want to say that. I'll let it go.
There's also the daytime TV Emmys, and then there's
that's the thing. There's way too many Emmys.
There's too many award shows.
Why do you care how many Emmys there are?
Oh, I'm just saying there's too many. I really don't care because I don't even know how many there are.
You just care if you say there's too many.
Well, if I said there was too few,
well, then you would care as well.
Yeah. I really don't care.
Yeah, I mean, everybody.
But I mean,
it.
if Carly's won how many?
I think it's 26. Those are regional Emmys.
Yeah.
Not to diminish what Jim Dunaway has done.
But I mean, the fact of the matter is, you have to nominate yourself, basically, right?
Right.
You've got to submit, and I don't know how many people submit.
Oh, all these networks do, I promise you, because they get off on this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we never did in radio.
Well, the radio's not Emmys. That's TV.
Abby's.
We did Abby's, and we won several
Yeah, but I'm
of
still
those.
saying for awards, I mean, those should be equally important. Is radio not as important as TV?
I don't know, man. I mean, people.
It's not to me anymore, but.
Yeah. All right, outstanding live series. The one the SEC on ABC won was going against college football on CBS. Could not have been a worse year for them to be up. They had the worst schedule they've had in 30-some-odd years.
Right.
It was awful. I barely watched college football on CBS. I think I remember watching Penn State USC.
Oh, yep.
From the Coliseum, and there was like one more game.
Notre Dame USC. I mean, USC, I think there were 4 or 5 CBS broadcasts.
The NFL on Fox, Monday Night Football, the NFL on CBS, and Sunday Night Football. So basically all the NFLs, SEC on ABC won. And I'll dig through here. Your best play-by-play guy was Joe Davis. You like him?
I do like Joe.
Here's who Joe Davis beat.
Hey, Joe, you're talking about an incredible ascension. I mean, it's been a long time now, but, last 10 years was the voice of the Montgomery Biscuits?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Here's who he beat. Mike Breen, who you saw last night on the NBA game. I think Mike's really
Mike's
good.
really good.
Ian Eagle, who just took over Jim Nance's spot on the Final Four, but he also does the NBA and then some NFL on Netflix. I like Ian. I think he does a good job.
Ian, another one of those guys that quickly ascended. I mean, you could book Ian Eagle was on the worst tournament game 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. His son, Noah Eagle, both the Eagles there. I haven't watched a lot of Noah Eagle. He does the NBC games. And then Mike Tirico, who's a pro. I mean, Tirico's good. Outstanding studio analyst.
Outstanding studio analyst. Charles Barkley's going to be nominated.
2 friends of the show up for this one. Dan Orlovsky.
Okay.
Charles Barkley. Nate Burleson. Ryan Clark. And Kirk Herbstreit. Charles Barkley won that one. And then I am looking for the one that Saban was in to tell you who.
Here we go. I got it. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Prime Video.
You said nope.
Jason Kelsey.
You don't like him either.
No, that's one Dunaway said was going to win. Dunaway loves them Kelsey brothers.
Yeah.
Nick Saban.
Yep.
Richard Sherman and Jay Wright. I think they 1,000% went with the right guy.
Yeah, I think so. Though I do like Jay Wright. The other, that's pretty heavy on that Amazon pregame show, right?
I mean, you've got two there.
Yeah, I barely watched that
Fitzpatrick and Sherman.
I never watched that Amazon pregame show. I might catch a little bit of it at halftime, but that Amazon game, I'm basically flipping that thing on right at kick.
Yeah, you're right. Even when the Rams are playing, I don't flip it on before. Now, I will watch after because they'll bring, obviously, a player
they bring
up.
a player out. So that's when I see it most. But as far as their pregame show, I don't see it. I don't see it much at all. By the way, Brett McMurphy continuing his college football tweeting. So just a quick schedule update. Notre Dame, Wisconsin at Lambeau Field. This is for next year. Will be your Sunday night game, live on NBC. Lambeau Field, Notre Dame, Wisconsin. So we always get that game that's between Saturday and Labor Day. Next year, it's going to be Notre Dame and Wisconsin.
Wisconsin will be breaking in a new coach.
I think so.
After our preview yesterday,
if they're where our voters had them, absolutely.
Hey, so this is interesting. Back to the Emmys, okay?
Okay.
Do you think you've ever been at an event that won an Emmy? Like a singular standalone event?
I mean, no. I was at an SEC on ESPN game this year.
Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so here we go. Outstanding live special non-championship event.
Right. That's a very long trophy.
Got to specify that. Yeah. Here were your 5 nominees. The 125th Army-Navy game on CBS.
Never been. I've always wanted to go.
The 66th Daytona 500.
Never been.
The 108th Indianapolis 500.
Never been. I was talking to somebody, though, that said it's an incredible day. You got to go.
You got to help me out with this. It says NFL wildcard game live from Bikini Bottom.
That's the SpongeBob.
Okay.
All right. I've never been to that.
Texans, Chargers, Nickelodeon, and then finally, in this category, Rickwood Field, a tribute to the Negro Leagues.
I was there.
Fox. I know.
I was there. You were there.
But did they win?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and I had it open. I thought we were done with that conversation.
Yeah, we need to find out if Rickwood Field won for the non-championship event, and we were there.
We'll find out. All right, new sponsor on the show. We're excited to welcome Company Distilling, Lance.
Yeah, I should have brought, just had 3 new bottles of bourbon sent over. We're going to have their master distiller is going to be coming in, Jeff Arnett. Next week, we're going to have a special edition of Bam and Bourbon. We'll give you more information, and there's going to be some tastings of this great product out and around our listening area in Birmingham, Central Alabama. Big news, though. Company Distilling now available at ABC stores across the state. If you've been waiting to try whiskey that's as good as the company you keep, this is your moment. Find your bottle and learn more at CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama. You must be 21 or older. Please enjoy responsibly. But stop in, pick up a bottle of this. It is absolutely fantastic. They sent us the mini samples a few months ago. We finally now have the full-size samples. We'll give you more information on Company Distilling, but it's now in Alabama. So on your way home from a long, hard day's work here on a Wednesday, what do they call it, Brown? Hump Day?
Hump Day.
Pick up a bottle of Company Distilling. Available now at ABC stores.
By the way, it won. Outstanding live special non-championship event. Rickwood Field, a tribute to the Negro Leagues on Fox.
Bucket list I didn't know I had.
We were there. We were there. Hey, I enjoyed the heck out of that night.
They did a great job.
Blast.
I will do
tremendous.
What is the one thing that stands out the most to you about that night?
It was hot. It was hot. It was. We saw Derek Jeter just walking through the crowd. What else?
Yeah, I thought the coolest thing was Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., and was it Alex Rodriguez or Derek Jeter with him? I think it was A-Rod.
A-Rod.
Yeah.
And the Jeets were just walking through the crowd.
Yeah, but those three just hanging out together was pretty amazing in our fair city.
Peter Burns is up next. We'll talk some SEC baseball tournament and other stuff with Burnsy. That's next on the next round.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Hey, you. Day's warming up. looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
All right, we continue on the next round. Our guy Peter Burns, ESPN SEC Network, about to hit a plane heading to our fair city of Birmingham for the SEC baseball tournament. Burns is such big time now; he doesn't even come in for the early games. They like they go to the bullpen and bring Burns in for the close. What's up, Burnsy? How are you today, buddy?
What's up, boys? That's right. Just going in for the closer role, but then I am the opening act for Omaha. So that I will say that. So like Dari is still the godfather of the SEC network. So they allow him to do the championship series. So it's whatever Dari's schedule wants, and then I come in.
But you are an ambassador for the SEC, Burns. And we were talking about how deep this tournament is in Hoover right now. But if I asked you, and I'm sure you've been asked this before, where is the SEC the healthiest right now? Is it baseball? Is it softball? Is it men's basketball? Or is it football?
Well, I mean, I think I work backwards and go where the weakest. I mean, there's no doubt it's going to be SEC football. I mean, 2 back-to-back years in which you haven't had a team play in the national championship game. And I know it's kind of laughable that we're even thinking about it that way, but let's be honest with you. Like, the parity level of this conference combined with the transfer portal and the NIL world, it creates like nobody can just, redshirt a future NFL player like Saban used to be able to do back in like the 2013 era, or like even Kirby did right before all the transfer portal and NIL started. So I think where you see it the healthiest is probably, baseball and softball would be probably 1A, 1B. I mean, you had 7 of the top 8. You could have as many as 6 of the final teams in Oklahoma City. Last year we had 4 in Omaha, 4 SEC, 4 ACC. I would imagine we'll probably have at least 4 coming up. So, and look at how basketball is played. I think you can make that argument that football is probably number 4 above probably women's basketball.
I said this on the show yesterday. This is the best collection, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, and maybe it's just a homer, statement by me, best collection of college baseball teams ever outside of Omaha in one spot.
Yeah, I mean, Schlossnagle talked about it. It's probably tougher to win the regular season in the SEC than it is winning the College World Series. And that's crazy to think, but just a matter of each day in and day out. I mean, you go back and look at Kentucky. Kentucky's going to be one of those teams, guys, and obviously they lost yesterday to Oklahoma, but they had just swept Oklahoma, but then got swept by Vanderbilt. They got swept by Mississippi State. I mean, you go back and look at it, as you just catch somebody slipping on any given weekend outside of really South Carolina and Missouri, you were in for a pretty damn tough, 3-game series. And I'm like, I want to go back to that real quick. Like, we talk about teams that have been shocking, but and things, we talked about it on the show this morning. The fact that A&M was on the bubble a couple weeks ago and Missouri went into their own place and not only swept them, but beat the hell out of them and almost run-ruled them on Sunday is crazy. So there's a ton of storylines, but at the same point, we talk about the top-end teams really good. We talk about the teams that are disappointing and bad. And yet I look at a team like Auburn that's just kind of doing their own work and not really flashy. Ike Irish is really good, but no one's giving the Tigers enough credit coming into this season.
You mentioned A&M, and A&M Mississippi State underway right now. Mississippi State was 7-14 back late April. They're 9-1 since. What flipped for the Bulldogs?
I mean, getting rid of Chris Lemonis. And not because Lemonis doesn't know how to coach. I mean, hell, he won the College World Series. Just sometimes all of a sudden you need a little bit of that spark. And a lot of people are like, why are they making that move now? Why not make it at the end of the season? And I think a lot of that came to do, Lance, with the fact of, all right, well, what happens if we just don't think he's the guy yet and it's over? We want to go in a different direction, but they catch fire. And now we're in the kind of this purgatory on what to do with the coach. So I think that's the reason why that they decided to make that change. Justin Parker's done a really good job. I mean, they've always had talented players, just a matter of was the message being delivered out there. So, I thought that Nick Mingione at Kentucky might have been one of those guys that would be in the mix, but I think, them getting swept at Vanderbilt and then going one and done in Hoover, I think kind of, pours a little water on that conversation, but that's ultimately going to be one of the best jobs in the country as far as college baseball is concerned if Justin Parker doesn't get it.
ESPN and SEC Network's Peter Burns for a few more moments on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline. One thing I like about what they've done with this tournament now, because used to the double elimination, you could get bogged down and stay there and burn through a bunch of pitching. Used to have the discussion, do coaches just want to get swept and get out of there if they're already a top 8 seed or a top 16 seed or whatever? But now, if you're one of the top 4 SEC seeds, it's basically just a normal weekend for you. You play 3 games.
Well, because it starts on like for LSU, for instance, it'll start over on Friday, so you can have your normal Friday rotation. Even the guys there too, Ryan, that are going to be Thursday night starters. That's not a complete change. You're talking about 1 day less. So those guys can put their aces and have them shove on their traditional rotation. That's why I think it's almost impossible. And it's always this tough for a team playing on the first day or two to win the tournament. No different than in basketball or anything like that. But yeah, especially, I mean, I vividly remember guys talking to Sully, Kevin O'Sullivan, the Florida coach, and other coaches when it would be Championship Sunday. I'd come down from my set over in Hoover and walk to them and be like, so who you starting today? And they would look at me like, we don't freaking know. Like, we're going to hope this kid that I forgot was even on the team can give us like 60 pitches today. And it was kind of a cool storyline because sometimes you had a kid who had never really had an opportunity to pitch, goes out there in a high leverage situation and pitches well, and they trust him in the postseason. So I like this setup. I'm kind of curious to see what the fan bases are going to be like and the fans over at Hoover Met this week, because, at least you used to be kind of guaranteed you'd get at least 2 teams in. And I think it's important for this first year that Alabama and Auburn go on a run to continue along with LSU, so they have some pretty, solid crowds there at the Met.
So, let's shift to football. And obviously the big news out there in college football, Bill Belichick gets engaged. I said I was going to ask this question to everybody that comes on. We're 90 days and change.
All of them. That's good. That's going to be a lot.
It's going to be a lot, but here we go. better chance of happening during Belichick's tenure at UNC? They win a conference championship, or he has kid number 4?
Oh, that's close because I don't know if he's a snip guy, but I guarantee you that they might be, I mean, like that. What a moneymaker that would be. I would imagine there would be a prenup signed at some point. This whole thing is so weird, man. Like the conversation that people want to hear is between Belichick and her. That's not the conversation I want to hear. The conversation I want to hear about that relationship has everything to do with what's the relationship with Belichick and Saban. I mean, can you imagine Saban calling him once he sees these headlines? And he's not oblivious to it. Like, I would just love to know what that conversation is. That conversation, and also where does Nick Saban showcase his new sports Emmy that he won last night? Those are the two things I need to get to the bottom of.
We were talking in the first segment, Bernsey. We used to always have this conversation for years in Birmingham sports radio, and then when we moved over here, can Nick Saban catch Bear Bryant? Now he's in pursuit of Jim Dunaway. Dunaway's got 2 sports Emmys. 2. So can Nick Saban catch Jim Dunaway, in your opinion?
I mean, again, you can tell Dunaway's pissed. He's off today.
I'm out.
He's sulking. He's a little worried. He's a little worried. Like, all right, so Lance, what do you think? Do you think he does? I put the odds on it yesterday. Like the kitchen, the office. Does he put it at the lake house? Does he put it next to the Independence Bowl trophy? Like, where do you think this trophy goes?
I don't think he really cares. I think it's more Terry where she wants to put it.
That's probably. That's the
I would say Lake Burton on their mantle. The Jupiter home, they seem like they're using it a lot, but I'm going to go Lake Burton on the mantle.
That's fair. Yeah. I think it's. I mean, listen. I'll be honest with you. I was.
Where do you put yours? Where do you put yours?
0. I'm a no talent ass clown. There's we don't have anything. In fact, I don't think I've won anything. The only thing I've won is I don't make enough money that I really hit anybody's like, oh man, we're spending that much money on talent. So I don't like I'm perfect. I'm like that perfect B student. You're like, you know what? We need people. He shows up. He's reliable.
You know what you are? You're Iowa football. You're Iowa football.
I am. Somebody's got to fill out the schedule, buddy.
Yeah.
And I'm just there so I don't get fined. But yeah, I mean, so I think it's actually pretty cool. And working with Saban over at ESPN has been really cool. Just to see him. Like, I never got a chance, and, very few of us got a chance to see what it was like inside that building in Tuscaloosa when he was in the midst of his great run of just how locked in he was. I mean, we see glimpses of it, but never day to day. But to watch him over at Media Days or watch him at SEC Championship, like how dialed in he is, it's a credit. And I think he's done a really good job over there. And I think you're right, though. I think Miss Terry would be proud of him in winning it. And so wherever Miss Terry wants that award is where that award's going to go.
I'd go super flex. He's got the Mercedes dealerships. I would have them make it a hood ornament on one of my Mercedes. And I just pull up in an Emmy on my hood.
It's one way to do it.
I mean, just like, what next? Like, do we get him in a rom-com? Like, can we get Grumpy Old Men 3 with him and Belichick? Like, I'd watch that storyline.
Bernsey, I know you got a plane to catch, man. Safe travels here to Birmingham. Always fun catching up, buddy.
I'm looking forward to it. Hey, I'm still looking for my next round live gear. So, yeah, I mean, make sure we need.
Do you have nothing?
I need to grab one of those.
Can you swing by? You've never seen our facilities.
Yeah,
we'll load you up.
I have. Jeez, am I that? You see, that's the reason why I stick around. I've been to the facilities like 3 times, Lance.
3 times, Lance.
Do you remember him?
Of course.
Oh yeah,
all three. Yeah. You've been here 3 times.
You can just tell about how much of a mark I left on the Next Round Live staff and the hosts themselves. So when they're like, he was so unremarkable, I didn't even know you existed.
He was with Fitzy. Weren't you with Fitzy one time?
I believe so.
Yeah, see? Yeah. I do remember that one.
I don't remember Fitzy coming up here.
You've got you remember that time Saban came up here?
I've got really good long-term memory. The listeners out there will tell you that, Bernsey.
That's right. By long-term, he means like me at 80.
Yeah, short-term, that's sativa that gets it's
See, a nice guy like me, a good polite host would have just been like, "Oh, no big deal. No, I'm going to make you eat this."
Yeah, that's
every
right.
single
That's
time. I'd be
fine.
like, "Remember the second time I went there, Lance, and it was great. Oh, that was awesome. Great."
Do you? So you've got no gear whatsoever, or you just need a refresh of gear?
No, my favorite shirt that I bring on every single road trip, especially when I'm out, anywhere.
You can have the
is
rest.
Y'all are not like
Y'all can have the rest.
Yeah. Like with all of the states
Yep.
of the SEC, and then in there that blue one, it's awesome.
I'll text you, and maybe we can meet up while you're in town. I'm not going to make it out to the Met any, but I can get you some stuff.
I'd like to hang out with you, Ryan Brown, because you're memorable, Lance.
Thank you, Burnsy. Always good to see you, buddy. We appreciate it.
Yeah, boys.
All right, Peter Burns, ESPN and the SEC Network with us on the Shunnarah Hotline.
I had a client the other day. They were on with us a couple of years ago. They're back with us. Don't remember them coming in studio. We have a lot of people that come through here.
We do. To your defense, especially in the first couple years, and it still happens, but in the first couple years, it was like a turnstile.
Yeah,
out
I
there.
remember
it was constant.
Barkley's first time in because he dropped 6 F-bombs in the very first segment.
Do you remember that?
I remember. I'm going to stop there.
Tyler says LT doesn't remember Burns visiting, but could remember Dracula's attacks in Castlevania.
Biggest lie ever told on the show.
What, that Lance conquered Castlevania?
Yeah, biggest lie ever.
Have you confirmed which one? I was the Nintendo. And there could be a more difficult game out there. There's a million of those Castlevania games.
Yeah, I've looked into it. It was none of them.
Greg from Bell City.
If that is the worst lie I ever tell.
Yeah,
I've been accused of a lot.
I know.
Never on lying on Simon's Quest, Castlevania.
Greg from Pell City. I'll go ahead and give Tyler and Melton a heads up. We're going to do our 40 and 40 team here in a moment. But Greg from Pell City, stormrestorationroofing.com. That is the website for our guy Greg from Pell City. Unfortunately, many of you had storm damage. Melton was the first one to warn me of this yesterday. And then all the weather people followed Melton's lead. And it's unfortunate when that happens, and we hope you're safe. And you can always rebuild, right? Well, maybe it wasn't as severe, but you do know maybe you've got some roof damage. Storm Restoration, Greg from Pell City can come out and take a look at that roof. He'll climb up there. He'll look at it. He works for the insurance company, so he knows what they're looking for. He knows how it gets approved. Greg will take great care of you. So call him today, 205-542-3531. What we love about Greg is he may climb up on that roof and say, hey, listen, you're okay. He's not going to take you to the cleaners on something like that. He's a trustworthy guy, and he just wants your business when you need that roof. 205-542-3531. Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531. Also, Hemp Hill Services brings you the lock every single day. NBA, I assume, tonight in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
I had the Thunder last night.
That was a winner, I believe.
Little 26-point win, down 4 at half.
Didn't look great at the half, did it? SGA was not playing great.
He turns it on in the third quarter and ends up having 20 of his 31 in the second half. So easy winner. We will have Game 1 Eastern Conference Finals up and rolling tonight between the Pacers and the Knicks. Jump on board, win with us at lanceslog.com, where you will get a free play every single day. It is brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Just real quick on the SEC baseball tournament, as Lance mentioned, Texas A&M, as we're doing this live, A&M and Mississippi State are playing. That's because that game got delayed with the impending weather. They did not risk it last night. Maybe they could have played it. I don't know. That's all hindsight. They've got space in the schedule, though, in this new bracket, so they were able to delay until today. That means Alabama-Tennessee will not go until about 2 o'clock. That means Oklahoma and Georgia is delayed, and then Florida and Ole Miss is delayed, and that moves Auburn against the winner of this game into Thursday. So Auburn, slated to be the late game tonight, will not start until the early game on Thursday. Good news about this new bracket, though, is you've got space to make those moves.
Death taxes and rearranging the SEC baseball tournament every single year.
No doubt, but it's far easier to do now than it used to be. Once you make it single elimination, even with all the teams in, it's easier to do. So that's the schedule there in Hoover today, and a lot of those teams, just about everybody else playing right now is going to be in the postseason for a long time.
I hadn't even thought about this. This is pretty amazing, though. I'm looking at this graph right now, the last 7 NBA champions.
Okay.
We're going to have 7 straight different champions.
I mean, we talk about the parity of the NFL, but that shows parity in the NBA too, right?
Yeah.
We talk about how the NFL gets parity right better than anyone. That would tell you the NBA is doing it just as well.
Yeah, and that's pretty incredible. I mean, 7 years, 7 different teams. I don't know another sport you can say that in. Even college football.
I mean, you certainly can't do it. We talk about parity in the
College
NFL, but the Chiefs
basketball.
have dominated. College football, no.
Nope. College basketball, no. NFL, no.
Major League Baseball,
no.
No, that's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, after last night in the second half, it is hard to see anyone else, but the Pacers and the Knicks play tonight, where the Knicks are about a 4.5-point favorite in this
4.5-point favorite. But
7 o'clock TNT.
According to the analytics, they still have the Pacers. The Knicks are favored minus 155 to win the series, but the analytics say 52.8% chance the Pacers win the series.
That's interesting.
I know.
How do they?
Without
a game
I
being
really,
played.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
I mean, if you played tonight's game,
It's almost this win probability when
Yeah.
you've got it at 99.9%, and we see 2, 3, 4 teams a year.
Yeah,
lose that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if they had played a game already, I'd be like, okay, I see that. But having not played a game, maybe wait on the analytics until you've seen the two of them on the court together, which I know you have this year, but the postseason's different.
Yeah. So do you think Thunder end up winning this whole thing?
But I mean, after watching them beat the T-Wolves 114-88 last night, it's hard not to say yes.
But I think that's
That was a
the
beatdown.
third or fourth 25-plus point win in the postseason at home this year for the Thunder.
SGA 31-5-9. He's one of 3 finalists for the MVP award, which
he's
is
winning
announced
it.
tonight. He's going to win it, right?
Yeah.
So that's your NBA MVP. And I mean, he struggled last night in the first half, and they still were only down 4. And buddy, when he turned it on, whew, you know where he is really, really good. And they pointed this out on the telecast, not me inventing this. The analyst, I don't even know who the analyst is with Breen. I know Doris Burke's one of them. I don't know who the man is.
Richard Jefferson.
Okay, Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson pointed this out. Where he is so good is when he drives, if you're a defender and you bite on the drive, he hits the brakes and shoots that fadeaway. He never misses it.
Well, he doesn't miss that fadeaway, which is pretty incredible when you talk about the body control, but also his ability when he does try to blow away. His length on his wingspan, and he's just so crisp at just putting it right off the glass. I mean, that guy, I thought he was going to be good. I didn't see him being elite like this.
Yeah, coming out of Kentucky, you thought this is a good NBA player, but buddy, he is definitely the league MVP this year.
Yeah, the other guy, the other Kentucky player we saw last night, Julius Randle, has 28, but only 8 in the second half. That's the guy that I saw coming out that was going to be incredible. Yeah. And he's been good, but he hasn't been SGA level good.
You had 2 Kentucky players. Randall led the T-Wolves in scoring, and SGA led the Thunder in scoring.
Yeah,
a testament to the Calipari era.
And I do think tonight, when you look at this matchup between the Pacers and the Knicks, which the Knicks won 2-1 in the regular season, but Karl Anthony Towns averaged 30 and 12, another Kentucky guy for the Knicks in those 3 games. So the Knicks are going to have to, the Pacers are going to have to find out a way to limit Cat and what he does out there.
All right, Champions Boxing brings you the 40 and 40. We're going to unveil our team today, and we are back on Alabama's schedule. We were on Alabama's schedule yesterday with the Wisconsin Badgers at number 36, and we said if that's where they finish, that is really, really bad news for their head coach. If this team finishes here, I don't think their coach gets fired. But it is a disappointing season, I would say. But first, Champions Boxing brings you our 40 and 40.
So quick question. You got a teenager out there. They haven't found their lane. They haven't found an activity that they've gravitated to. Maybe they need a little structure, a little discipline in their life. What about Champions Boxing? Me and Jack are going 2-3 times a week. Absolutely loving it. It's an incredible workout. It's boxing for fitness and competition. All ages starting at 9 years old. 8 USA boxing certified coaches, not only in boxing, but strength and conditioning as well. Coaches have experience in the amateur, professional, and Olympic levels. Anyone looking for a workout different than just lifting weights, come check them out at Champions Boxing. Any former athletes looking to try another sport to compete in after high school or college, perfect for you. Official sports boxing coordinator for the 2025 World Police and Fire Games that will be held right here in Birmingham this July. No pressure to spar, but if you do, 100% safe and controlled. Team, family-oriented, helps in teaching discipline, fundamentals, located right there in Pelham behind the Purple Onion off of 31. For more information, go to their Instagram at Champions Boxing AL or Facebook at Champions Boxing AL as well.
44 of you voted. We went Tulane, Navy, Memphis, Missouri, the first SEC team to show their head at 37. Georgia Tech in the ACC at 36. Wisconsin at 35. And today, at team number 34, back to the ACC. Plant that spear, my friend. There you find the Florida State Seminoles.
I got absolutely torn to pieces last year when I had Florida State 25th in our 40 and 40.
How'd it turn out?
I was awful. I was completely wrong there.
Could have been more wrong.
Yeah, they were 2-10.
Yeah.
Everybody said Florida State, they will not drop off. I thought they were going to take steps back.
To remind, you got torn to pieces because everybody's like, how do you have them that low? And you weren't low enough.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and, you saw how they performed without Jordan Travis. We didn't know what they were going to get at the quarterback position. You lost your two best defenders in Verse and Fisk. And look, I mean, the way it played out was disastrous. And I would just ask you go back to the 2020 season, Mike Norvell's first season at 3-6. Then he posts a 5-7, and then he turns around 10-3, backs it up with a 13-0, but then 2-10. And I don't know.
Who is he? You're saying who's the real Mike Norvell?
He's just all over the place. And when you start to look at the schedule, I don't think they have any shot at beating Alabama. That would be Louisiana Monroe-like for Kalen DeBoer.
So that's a big statement. But, but then after that, they play a team that sounds like it is a team that they had to create for a movie, East Texas A&M, the Lions. I mean, literally sounds like a movie creation team, East Texas A&M. Kent State and at Virginia. They got a shot to start 3-1, but there's some difficult games after that.
Yeah, they get Miami at home, they get Pitt at home, they got to go to Palo Alto. Stanford should be improved, good enough to beat Florida State. We'll see. They get Wake at home, they've got to go to Clemson, to NC State, to Florida.
That's a tough road schedule.
It really is. 9-3 to me, best case. 5-7, worst case. I've got them at 7-5, which probably does put them in our top 40 this year.
And again, we talked about this spot yesterday. Luke Fickell getting the axe if they finish there. I don't think this would get Norvell. I don't think he'd get fired at this.
Well, from what you hear is Florida State couldn't afford the buyout right now.
Yeah, he got that big contract after the undefeated year.
But if you do have another disastrous, and I think 5-7 is disastrous. Castellanos, you bring in a very experienced quarterback. You bring Gus Malzahn in to call this offense, which is an interesting angle right there. But we're talking about a team that had won 19 consecutive games going into last season or before the bowl loss.
Right.
Yeah, so after the ACC championship game, after winning 19 consecutive games, they're 2-11.
I mean, that is just, you thought you would never see that. At
let me ask you this. How many, and I don't know this for a fact, and I should have done the homework on this. How many Power 4 teams do you think in their last 13 games have a worse record than Florida State?
Power 4? I mean, you used to say Vandy, but it's not them. There's nobody in the SEC.
Well,
maybe State.
So I would just look at it like this. Last year, Stanford had 2 wins, so they're going to be better than that. They had 2 wins last year, and that was the one above, and Wake. The Big 12, Oklahoma State might be maybe.
Yeah.
Because they were 0-9 last year.
Yeah.
Purdue maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's some bad ones, but you do not want to be in this.
No,
in
Purdue,
this group by any
Oak
stretch of the
State,
imagination.
and Mississippi State are your potentials.
Castellanos does what for you? He's, as you mentioned, with Gus Malzahn, so a new offensive coordinator. It was limited play last year because he left the team for Bill O'Brien, but he was 61% completion percentage for 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 picks. He adds a little bit with his legs, too. I kind of liked the kid at Boston College, and I remember Luganbill telling us.
It was after the Florida State game. I think it was a 30-29 Florida State win. It was up in Boston.
In Chestnut Hill, and Luganbill told us, if this guy could go into the free agency right now, there are a ton of programs that would take him.
He is a massive upgrade, I think, over DJ. DJ's just one of those guys that I think he regressed as his career went on.
He did.
From Clemson to Oregon State. He was solid at Oregon State. He was just not good last year. So I think you're going to get a better option there. I just don't know what he's got around him.
Yeah, that's the question. Does he have the playmakers around him for Mike Norvell?
So you did not have a 500-yard rusher last year. You did not have your leading receiver had 519 yards. I mean, the skill was terrible. The quarterback play was terrible. The offensive line was terrible
across the board, The one game they won at home, right, was Boston College against Castellanos, as memory serves. Am I right about that?
I think you are. I will tell you right now.
I think that was their ACC win because I remember thinking, Castellanos, that's a pretty good quarterback to go up against for a team. He can make it a game for you, and that was the one game Florida State, I believe, their one conference win last year.
No, it was actually California.
Well, crap.
They lost 28-13 at home to BC. Beat Cal 14-9.
Do you want to take a shot at me on that one, Melton, about my memory on that?
Absolutely not.
I swear I rember watching them lose that game.
Your memory's typically pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Except
so
for Scott's daughter and that one game. Okay.
I remember us at the Old River Grill watching Georgia Tech upset Florida State in week 1.
I do remember that.
Week 0.
Yep. It seemed like a massive upset at the time.
The next week they come back. They're double-digit favorites against BC. They lose by 15.
Okay.
Then they lose at home to Memphis.
I remember that.
Favorite.
I do remember that.
Then they finally get off the snide there, and they beat Cal. But then after that, dominated 42-16 at SMU. Double-digit loss to Clemson. Lose by a touchdown to Duke. Double-digit loss to Miami. Double-digit loss to North Carolina. They lost by 49 at Notre Dame. And a 20-point loss to Florida. I mean, they weren't even close.
Did they ever
year.
score? You've got their scores right there, right? Did they ever score more than 21? Because they had that long streak where they were the only team in all of college football that did not scored more than 21 last year.
They scored 21 in the opener, and that was it.
Okay.
And then against Charleston Southern, they scored 41.
Technically, Melton, I said more than 21.
Yeah. That's fair.
Not 21,
That's true.
more than 21.
I'm worried at this rate you're never going to win an Emmy. I'm concerned.
I mean, I think there are concerns about that. I would agree.
Charleston Southern 41 points.
That was where they broke. That was where they broke the streak. Yeah.
And let's go FBS, right?
Yeah. The Birmingham Stallions. They may score more than 21. We'll see. They're back Saturday, 2:00, Fan Appreciation Day. Down at Protective Stadium, enjoy a live pregame band, giveaways from Piggly Wiggly, and Stanley's birthday bash there with the Stallions. Grab your tickets now, UFLstallions.com, UFLstallions.com, and pack Protective one more time with the Birmingham Stallions, UFLstallions.com. Much more college football and NFL when we return. This is The Next Round.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family, all at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Do you need some refreshed college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Gameday collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, we continue on the next round. Thank you for joining us wherever you are watching or listening. We always appreciate it, whether on the app or podcast on demand. You're watching us on one of our video platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter X, Twitch. Please share us on those platforms. We greatly appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching us on YouTube. That helps a whole lot. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and set alerts. We frequently are live and at times that are outside our normal 9 to 12. You'll get a reminder when we're 9 to 12 Central and other stuff if you set an alert. And when you're listening to us on podcast, or if you have yet to start listening to us on podcast, just please go to Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Google Podcasts, wherever you get us, and like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads. If you'll just do those things, it helps us a ton, and we greatly appreciate it. Like, follow, subscribe, and turn on your automatic downloads to make sure those podcasts download every single day. Helps us a ton, and we appreciate you doing all those things for us. He's Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brown. Dunaway will be back with us. He's on vacation. Back with us on Tuesday as we continue on the next round. Scott is out. I'll make this our Tender Moment of the Day. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Tender Moment of the Day. Scott is out because his daughter Haley, as you know, a softball and volleyball star, going on volleyball scholarship to not Carson Newman, Freed-Hardeman University. She graduated high school last night, and she was number one in her class. You see Scott's family there if you're watching us on video, and Haley is a tremendous young lady, does a great job. In fact, finished first in her class. Scott sent us video of her speech, and this is our Bojangles Tender Moment of the Day. Here's the closing of the speech from young Haley Forrester, number one in her class at Moody High School.
We've made history. We are state champion runner-ups in football and flag football, regional appearances in volleyball for 2 consecutive years, the largest class of female athletic signees. And after 4 consecutive state appearances, we finally brought the blue map home. We were, for the first time in school history, softball state champions.
Oh, the hat change.
I like the heavy sports.
That's right.
Someone forced your hat on last
We've
Wednesday.
broken multiple records
got the tassel
and raised
on
the
it, too.
standard. As we grow into the people we are meant to be, make mistakes. Change your major or career path. Move, travel, fail, but learn from it. Keep faith, fall in love again and again until you find your person, even if they wear the enemy's jersey. Try new things and forget what others think. Celebrate the moments. Jump in the lake, be your own voice. Whatever comes next, college, work, big dreams, remember that you are capable. You are enough. And you don't need anyone else's permission to shine. Go out there and do the impossible, especially if someone told you you couldn't. Keep pushing, because the same God that brought us here is not done with us yet. Congratulations, class of 2025. Go be great and do amazing things, or at least convince everyone of social media of it. Thank you.
Good line at the end.
Yeah, that was well done.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is so hard to do. Like, if you've never done a ton of public speaking, getting in front of a crowd on a mic like that.
freaking teenager.
Oh my gosh, very, very impressive.
Would that
there.
ever and I know you've been dating Jennifer since you guys were in high school.
In the crib.
Is that something that would ever deter you from dating somebody like the opposite jersey? Because there's people out there that are Alabama and or Auburn fans or Tennessee or Georgia that would never date the opposite.
Yeah, I tell you, man, growing up, they were older than me, both older than me. One of them was more my brother's friend, but I knew her and her family well. And the other one was about my brother's age. Maybe the single biggest, obnoxious is not a word I'm going to use to describe, but crap-talking Alabama fan met one of the single biggest Auburn fans I have ever known, Lance. And I'm telling you, when you talk about Alabama fan that hated absolutely everything Auburn and Auburn fan that hated absolutely everything Alabama, these would have said I would have named the guy and the girl if you'd asked me. And they married. And they're still married to this day. They got a kid in college. I think she went to Auburn.
Is it one of those situations they can't watch together?
Yeah, I mean, he goes for a long time. I don't know what they do now. I've kind of lost touch with him. I need to catch up. But for a long time, he'd go to the Alabama games and she'd go to the Auburn games. On Saturday, they'd just go their separate ways. Now, Iron Bowl, I would guess if it was in Tuscaloosa, I don't know. I think he went to some Iron Bowls with her at Jordan-Hare, and I cannot imagine that. And she went to, because those games are so insane.
We know how passionate, borderline berserk fans can get around here. There has to be examples of, oh, yeah, she looks good. She's got a great personality. This sounds great. Yeah. But she's an Auburn fan. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I have a buddy that is a Michigan fan down here in the South, and his girlfriend cheated on him with another Michigan fan down here in the South.
Ooh, and Wolverine crime.
I promise you.
Hey, is that what brought them together, though, the Michigan link? Probably was.
No, they didn't know each other.
Well, I thought you were going to say it would have been worse if she cheated on him with an Ohio State fan.
No, I think it would have been better because it would have been able to
I don't believe they didn't know each other.
Yeah.
They didn't know each other. I'm talking about the two guys didn't know each other.
Oh, no, okay. Yeah. But I'm saying, is that what brought her to the Michigan fan? Was Michigan?
It was circumstance.
So it was better wine.
Yeah.
It was circumstance. It was alcohol and late night bar.
Imagine if your rival does this to you, you have even more hatred and
spirit
for that rivalry.
Good point.
But
I see what
if
you're
it's
saying.
your fellow,
it's not going to be great either way. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit tougher, I think, to watch Michigan and really pull for them, knowing that, down the street there's a guy that's also pulling for.
Good point.
Well, that's probably happened. Let's just say that somebody at Florida, huge Gator fan, and their girlfriend ends up banging a Gator wide receiver. Then do you start hating the Gators, or do you still pull for them?
I don't know. Did you like the football team more or the girl more?
I think you were a football fan before and probably a fan of the team. Yeah.
I think that answers your question.
Okay.
All right, the end of Haley's valedictorian speech there. Our Bojangles Tender Moment of the Day. From sweet to heat, Bojangles has 7 sauces. It will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. And nothing pairs better with sauces than the hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard or add some tang with barbecue. If you're looking for some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving something smooth and creamy, then our house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, our classic Bo sauce, ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bo time. That was our tender moment of the day from our friends at Bojangles. Thank you to Peter Burns for coming on the show and talking a little college baseball and college football with us. If you missed it earlier, Brett McMurphy of the Action Network reporting that the first college game day will be at Alabama and Florida State. The reason that is significant it will be the final one for Coach Corso, and he'll be back at his old stomping grounds, there in Tallahassee. So it'll be a cool sight.
If it wasn't for Corso, do you think they're probably in Clemson?
Probably. So, if they just had their pick, and Corso didn't matter, they might still go to Texas, Ohio State. I don't know. It probably
maybe
Clemson, LSU
because of the arch thing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this:
I don't know. It's tough.
Going into a season, we had no idea what Manziel was going to be. We had no idea what Cam Newton was going to be. Tim Tebow, it was different because he played a lot more than it seems Manning did his freshman year with Chris Leak, winning a national championship. My question. Have we ever seen one player this hyped coming into a season where they've really never started a significant game before? I think we've seen it in the NFL because some of these quarterbacks that go number 1 overall. But, at this level, and that's why I believe there's an opportunity that Arch Manning could be the biggest bust of all time.
I got one for you. Tua. He had never started a game. And, I mean, he was the Heisman favorite, wasn't he, when Alabama played Louisville that night?
I know Bryce Young was.
I thought Tua was the Heisman favorite. You see, the reason I remember that is I remember after Alabama had the come-from-behind win over Georgia, when Tua came off the bench, Furman was on our show later that week, and we talked about preseason Heisman. And he said, I will not be surprised if when the season starts, Tua Tagovailoa is your Heisman favorite. And we were like, whoa, Furman guy's never even started a game. And he's like, I know.
I think that was Bryce Young.
No, he said that about Tua.
Okay,
I'm not going to argue with you that Bryce was
I know
the Heisman
Bryce
favorite.
was.
Yeah.
I thought he said that about Bryce, but maybe he did say it about Tua.
Yeah.
But I still don't think to this level.
Maybe not. Maybe not to this level. And a lot of that has to do with the Texas brand, for one thing. Alabama's a big brand, too.
But more
the
so
Manning
the name.
Yeah.
I mean, if I would just ask you this, if Arch was the starting quarterback instead of Austin Simmons for Lane Kiffin this year, how different would the hype be for Ole Miss?
If Arch Manning was starting at Ole Miss, they would certainly be a playoff pick. I would think they're easy a top 10 team to start the year.
10.
I mean, they were a 10-win team last year. Like, even if Jackson Dart was the quarterback last year and Arch is basically Austin Simmons, he's just coming in to start, maybe played some cleanup, I think Ole Miss would be a sexy pick to win the SEC.
Okay, I want to ask you this, in all seriousness. I'm going to throw the team out. If Arch is the starting quarterback, you tell me where they're ranked.
All right.
I mean, Ohio State's easy.
Easy number one.
Notre Dame.
Number one.
Oregon.
Probably number one. They finished the year number one last year.
Texas is going to be number one.
They're going to be number one.
Penn State.
You know, the only complicated thing with Penn State is they've never beaten anybody good.
James Franklin.
James
No,
Franklin.
but I've seen multiple people have Penn State at number one.
I mean, people are having them that high with Aller. They'd have them higher with Arch, so probably number one.
Georgia?
Number one.
Okay, I'm going to skip the Arizona States and the Boise.
No, they would not be number one, but they would be high.
Tennessee?
I don't think they'd be number one.
Top 10, though.
They'd be top 10, but, you know, made the playoffs last year. I think they might be top 5. I don't think they'd be number one.
Clemson?
They're a sexy pick to win the national championship with Cade Klubnik, so I think people could talk themselves into having them close to number one. I don't know if they would actually be number one.
Okay, last one, Alabama.
They'd be number one. Yeah.
It's just amazing that a name like that, and again, he might end up being one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen at this level. But, I mean, back to Aaron Murray's point yesterday, it's going to be a fascinating watch with Arch Manning.
It is. I would say I can't remember a quarterback that has had this much hype. I mean, we talk about him all the time on this show, and most of the time it's unplanned. We just stumble into talking about Arch. His name just comes up in relation to other things. I can't remember a quarterback with this much hype that we've seen this little of in this amount of time. And I know I had a lot of qualifiers there, but he's been there 2 years. Normally in 2 years, you've seen a lot more of a guy.
So,
now, I know he started, 3 games last year or 2 games last year?
Yeah. So we've seen a lot of Carson Beck.
Yeah.
Carson Beck and Miami are going to be where? Top 15, probably?
I think a lot of people have him in the top 10, but I would safely say top 15.
I think we sleep on how good Carson Beck is.
You've always liked him.
But if Arch Manning was the starting quarterback for Miami, we've got a proven product in Carson Beck. Where do you think they are?
Top 10, easy.
Yeah, probably top 5.
Probably knocking on the top 5.
Yeah.
I would agree. There again, your problem's Mario Cristobal. But I would say they're easily a top 10 team.
Is there any team that well, obviously Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Mississippi State, any team outside of those three, if he was the starting quarterback for in the SEC, they wouldn't be viewed as a college football playoff team?
I mean, you can't even include South Carolina because with Lenore Sellers, they're viewed by some as a college football playoff contender.
Yeah, but I think
Arch they would be viewed more, which is crazy because you've seen Lenore Sellers play a
And the
time.
same with Nussmeier. Like, there is no chance I would trade Nussmeier right now for Manning.
Oh, let me get to that real quick. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up because there's something I wanted to mention. Twin Peaks, though, bringing you part of the show today. Always a great place to go watch the games.
Yeah, they want to remind you, so Eastern Conference Finals Game 1, as we talk about it right here, great place $5 to get in. Check that out at Twin Peaks. No one does happy hour like our friends at Twin Peaks, whether your preference, whatever it is. They've got everything from tequila cocktails, extensive bourbon category, top shelf spirits and cocktails served over those ice balls, local craft beers, handcrafted whiskey cocktails, round out an adventurous drink menu second to none. And don't forget about that 29-degree drafts. They've got them all over the place. Great place to watch Game 1 tonight. Pacers next. Make it Twin Peaks.
And don't forget, all the great moments in Alabama sports history have been placed on canvas by our guy, Daniel A. Moore. You know Daniel A. Moore, but you can go see more, DanielMooreArt.com. How about this? First time this has ever been said. I'm about to say something nobody has ever said. Go get a painting of the Emmy Award-winning Nick Saban at DanielMooreArt.com. Nobody's ever said that sentence before.
Never.
The Legend, a tribute to Coach Nick Saban. And you know he ought to redo it. What if he redid it and it's Saban down there in the bottom holding up an Emmy Award? That'd be actually pretty good, wouldn't it?
Do they? I mean, I guess it's too extensive, too deep. There's no way all the nominees are there. There's no way he walks up on stage,
Yeah,
right?
I doubt he was even there. I don't know what the ceremony is like. We'll ask Dunaway. He's an Emmy Award winner. They probably know all the
Well, I
secrets.
guess it would
once you won
be
one.
viewed as a little pretentious if you show up to something like that.
Maybe so.
Just
yeah.
assuming you're going to win.
I'm here because I think I'm going to. I guarantee you Barkley wasn't there. He won. The Legend, a tribute to Coach Nick Saban and his 6 national championship seasons. You can save 20% with code TNR, 20% off at DanielMooreArt.com with code TNR, DanielMooreArt.com. Emmy Award winning Nick Saban on there. I was looking at this morning. It's funny you bring up what you talked about with Arch Manning there, because almost everybody assumes the Saints are just waiting to pick him. For the first time, I saw a mock draft this morning, and it's CBS Sports that did it. It's not some random outlier. CBS Sports that did it with a different quarterback than Arch Manning as their number 1 overall pick.
Was it Klubnik?
It was not.
Drew Aller?
It was not. It was LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier.
Oh, Nussmeier, yeah.
Imagine that going from LSU to the Saints. I mean, if he has that kind of year.
Well, I mean, LSU, there's a good chance they win a national championship.
You'd have to think if he's the number 1 overall pick, they've gone deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you would go on this, but like and obviously I did my rankings. I guess you did your quarterback rankings.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Like, I don't know where you would go, how far deep you would have to go before you would say, hey, this guy would start. And I'm talking about Arch.
Yeah. But Nussmeier is their number 1 overall pick.
But you'd take Nussmeier over Arch right now, right?
I would. I mean, I've seen it. I'm almost always going to go with what I've seen. And Nussmeier has been a good quarterback for LSU. And I think you could plug him into Texas and probably get the same outcome you're going to get out of Arch Manning, or just as good an outcome. The number 2 overall pick, they've got the Giants taking Alabama tackle Caden Proctor. So if you wonder how some in the NFL community feel about Alabama's talent under Kalen DeBoer, they've got him with the number 2 overall pick, Caden Proctor at left tackle. That's good news for Ty Simpson.
Where Proctor was year 1 to where he is right now, tremendous growth and development. And if he continues on that path, I mean, I think most people do view him as the best available offensive lineman. Sitting here, we're a long way away, almost a year away. But if Caden Proctor ended up going number 1 overall, I don't think it would shock people.
The only reason he probably wouldn't is the Saints are going to have that pick, and if there is a quarterback, they're going to go with quarterback.
Okay, but
if the Saints don't have that pick, if it is the Giants who end up with that pick, and they've got Jackson Dart, they may go left tackle.
That's the thing. If the Titans have that pick again, I mean, which they could.
They could, yeah.
If the Cleveland Browns have that pick.
Which they've had before. Yeah, you're right. It could be Caden Proctor.
I saw today, I think it was Louis Riddick. I'm pretty sure, almost positive it was Riddick. He said he's not going to be surprised at all if Shedeur is your starting quarterback week 1.
I mean, they've got 5 of them. Normally when you got 5 quarterbacks, you don't have the first clue who's going to start.
So they're going to try to trade or release, but trade Flacco or Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
Deshaun, he's not going to play ever again, probably.
Yeah, but they can't get rid of that money is the problem.
You're going to keep the 2 rookies that you drafted in Gabriel and Shedeur on the roster. So it's going to be one of the veterans and then those 2. And, I mean, if it's all tight in camp, I mean, who would you start?
I mean, I would start the one I think's got the best future, whether it's Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. I mean,
and I think Sanders is that guy. But you brought up this point, right after the draft, which is legitimate. Like they viewed Dylan Gabriel as a better player.
There's no way you can deny that. I mean, they thought Gabriel was a better player for them. They could have easily drafted Shedeur Sanders not only where they drafted Gabriel, but a round later, or they did it 2 rounds later.
Yeah, that's what makes that whole situation not only Shedeur falling to the 5th round, but even stranger that he gets drafted by a team that just drafted another quarterback.
I know. So whoever they think's better of those two is the one I would start if I'm Cleveland, and you hate that as a fan because I think if you're Cleveland, you feel like Joe Flacco could win me enough games to be in the playoff mix.
Let me ask you.
Do you disagree with that?
No.
Flacco's a solid NFL quarterback.
The way we saw him play 2 years ago to get to a postseason, let me ask you this. How many teams right now have their quarterback for the next 5 years?
In the NFL?
Yep. So I'll just quickly
You go through all the teams. I'll tell you if
Buffalo.
they do or not. Oh, absolutely.
Miami.
It's tricky because of his injury history, but I could see Tua playing another 5 years there.
I'll give you Miami. So 2 for 2. Jets, no chance.
Not a chance at all.
I think the Patriots have their guy in Drake May.
I think so. He had a bad day yesterday. It's one day in a camp, but he had like 4 picks, and everybody's going crazy about it.
I still feel really good about that.
I agree.
Baltimore and Lamar,
100%.
yes. Pittsburgh, no.
Nope.
Cincinnati, yes.
Yep. Cleveland, nope.
Houston, yes.
Uh-huh.
The Colts, no.
Uh-uh.
Jacksonville, I think no.
I mean,
know you paid him a lot.
They've married the guy, but I can't guarantee you he's going to start for 5 years for them the way he's played. And you don't know about Cam Ward. I mean,
you take him 1 overall.
Yeah, but I mean,
think he'll play out that contract.
But that doesn't mean he's the starter.
Yeah, I don't think you could say it. Yeah. Kansas City, yes.
100%.
The Chargers, yes.
100%.
The Broncos, yes.
100%. I mean, we say that after one good year, but I do feel that way.
Yeah, I think it's perfect system.
Yeah. The Raiders, no.
No. The Eagles, yes. The Commanders, yes.
Yep.
I don't think with the Cowboys. I mean, year 10 now?
Oh, yeah. Dak, I don't think is a 15-year guy. And so he's year 10 in the league, Dak is? Yeah, I don't think he's a 15-year guy, so I'd say no to them.
The Giants, I don't think.
Yeah, Dart's just an unknown. If you say that about Cam Ward, you got to say it about Dart.
I think Goff is still going to be the guy for 5 years.
You think he'll play 5 more years in Detroit?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, so 16, so next year is going to be his 10-year mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Goff will be there. That's 12. Vikings, I don't think you can say that about JJ.
We've never seen him have an NFL start. I mean, I like J.J. McCarthy, and they liked him last year, but he's never started an NFL game.
Green Bay, yes, with Jordan Love.
100%.
I think that's 13.
Yep, I give you.
I think Caleb Williams. I know people are like, it was up and down.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's any chance he is not a starting quarterback in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that strong, but I do think he'll be 5 years.
So that's 14. Yeah. Tampa Bay, no.
Nope.
Baker's not good. The Falcons, do we feel good enough about Penix?
Scott's not here to answer that.
I don't feel good enough.
We should have gone to Melton on the Titans. He's a Titans fan. We can circle back to that. I have not seen enough Penix yet, so I'm not willing to say yes.
Do you feel that good about Bryce? He played really well at the end of the season.
Well, he's 2 years in, so that'd be 7 full years.
I don't feel – I feel like I would lean yes, but gun to head, I don't feel great about it.
I'd lean yes, but I'm not going to guarantee it, no.
Saints, no.
Nope. They're
Rams,
about to draft.
No.
Nope.
Seahawks, no.
Nope.
Cardinals, no.
Nope.
San Francisco paid him like he's the guy, which we didn't get into, which I absolutely love. The richest contract in San Francisco history for an average quarterback. Love it. So
what is 5 years, 62? Was that what it was?
So 5 years, 262. Yeah,
262. Yeah.
So that's 15 of the 32 teams. But to Titans,
do you feel that about Cam Ward? Would you say in 5 years he's your starter, Melton?
The Titans have a track record here.
And it ain't a good one.
It's not a good one.
Yeah.
I feel like he will flourish somewhere else. I feel like that would be the case.
So he'll start, they'll unload him, and he'll go somewhere else and do well.
Yeah. He will not get his best production as a Titan. That's
we
my
can
prediction.
only hope Will Levis gets back in the mix, right? No, that's 15 of 32, so less than half. Yeah, and that shows you the turnover and the quarterbacks that are going to have opportunities like Nussmeier coming up.
Yeah, so real quick, so that's half the league. I got to pull this back up real quick. All right, so they had their number 4 pick in this mock draft was Arch Manning to the Jets, to your point there about the Jets. L.T. Overton they had in their first round, and Keldrick Falk of Auburn. Auburn back in the first round of the NFL draft. That was a very early CBS mock draft. I brought it up because of Nussmeier and Caden Proctor there at the top, but I did want to point that out with L.T. Overton. They view him as a first-round level guy. I still think Dominic Jackson could work his way in there. We'll see.
How about this? Better chance of being a starting quarterback in the NFL in 6 years or 5 years. Sam Darnold or Keelan Russell?
I mean, I've even seen Keelan Russell play a snap.
Yeah, but
I've seen a lot of stuff.
I would have to go Darnold. I just think
Darnold. He's in the league.
It's so funny because everybody right now is talking about this Russell kid. You can't keep him off the field.
Yeah.
He's going to be playing. He's going to be the next big thing.
Darnold's in the league.
But how many times a year do we hear about these freshman quarterbacks that have never played, that are 5-star guys, and they never do anything?
Yeah. I'm 100% with you on that. We get this all the time. All right, we're about to get Tyler's viewing menu. Before we do that, Way to Wellness brings you part of the show today. Planforme.com is the website to go to, planforme.com. Why is that the website? Because it is a plan tailor-made for you and your needs. It is not some cookie cutter, just do what everything else does. Leslie and her board-certified staff of medical professionals evaluate you, all your numbers, and they find the plan that is perfect for you. It is medical weight loss with supervision from them, meal replacements, and much, much more. The good news for you, there is no contract. You never have to sign a contract with them. There are no sign-up fees. You don't pay anything up front. And your first consultation is free. Planforme.com. Do what Dunaway has done. Go get healthier in your life. Get those numbers right. It's not a stretch to say they have saved people's lives with getting them healthier. Planforme.com. Planforme.com. Way to Wellness. Also, Michelson brings you the viewing menu.
Yeah, 205-969-8100, the number I called more than 2 decades ago. I had the 2200 vision, legally blind without the aid of contacts. After the procedure, 2015 vision better than 2020. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toller. The next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with that hassle-free consultation. 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Young Tyler.
All right, we got a new show on Netflix tonight called Sneaky Links, Dating After Dark. 6 singles check into a motel looking for love, but there's a twist. Their situationships are invited too. Can these hookups turn into real romance? So if you want just like a trashy reality show, like a couple of years ago we had, was it MILF Manor?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes, MILF Manor.
How could we forget MILF Manor? Sneaky Links. So, yeah, checking into a motel. I think you said motel, right? You didn't say hotel.
Yeah.
Not hotel.
Yeah, you're definitely looking for love in a motel.
We've discussed this before. Motel is when the doors open to the outside world, not
ice
the inside,
machine outside.
It doesn't have to be one level. It's just that the doors open outside. That makes it a motel. Because I used to always think motel was one level, hotel was multiple levels. But it's if the doors open outside, we call it a motel. Is that right? Okay.
If it's actually outside, not in an atrium.
Yeah, but I mean outside world.
I think of the Bates Motel for sure.
I do too.
Okay.
I've seen the set of that at Universal Studios out in L.A., and then the guy comes out and scares everybody.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
A motel also is if you walk to the convenience store on the other side of the street, there is an opportunity for you to be killed.
Yeah, that's probably a motel, right? Yeah. Okay.
And then next up on Paramount Network at 7 p.m., you can watch Django Unchained, one of my favorite Tarantino movies.
Great.
Brown, you're probably not interested at all in this one, but I think it's great.
I have watched some of it. It has got the hilarious scene where they're getting the clan together.
The hoods.
And the hoods. I mean, that is laugh out loud funny, no matter how many times I watch
the guy's
that.
wife cut the bad
My
holes.
wife made these.
All I hear is criticize.
Jonah Hill's in that scene. Who else is in that scene? Don Johnson, Jonah Hill, and there was one other actor that's in that scene.
But that is such a spectacular scene. So funny.
And then finally, Tubi's got 2 new additions this month. You can watch the original Planet of the Apes from 1968. I think it still holds up, and it has a great twist at the end that would have been absolutely mind-blowing to see in theaters in 1968. And then there's also a movie they added that Tim really recommends, and that is Barbarian from Zach Kreger.
Why do you like it, Tim?
I think it may be the best horror movie made over the past 5 years. It's really, really good. First 20 minutes, pitch perfect.
Yeah, it's very, very unique.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Assessment yet?
I have not seen The Assessment yet. No.
I take all y'all's recommendations and I go watch, and I give you guys one that I think you'll really like. And
hold on,
y'all just will not listen to Lance.
Your recommendation shaming us when we're pulling double duty back here all week long,
Of course
and we don't have time to go.
Let me ask you, how many movies have you watched this week? Just Monday, Tuesday.
0.
Wow, look at Melton.
Tyler, Monday, Tuesday.
I think I'm at like 4 probably. I've been trying to go through the whole Mission Impossible franchise too before the release next.
Are they that
tomorrow.
good?
I've heard they are, and I've never watched any of them. And people tell me all the time you would really like those.
3,
I think
4,
you
5,
would, Brown.
6.
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
4, 5, and 6.
Those are the best
really,
ones?
really good. Yeah.
Okay.
3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
So I only saw 1. 1 and 2 aren't good.
1 and 2 are not nearly as good as 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Fast and the Furious,
Quality
1 through
picks
how
up.
many?
Not a Fast and the Furious guy.
They're at 10 plus a spinoff, I think, for Fast and the Furious.
Okay, Tyler, I know you like this universe, and it might be my favorite franchise, John Wick. So they do a documentary, Wick is Pain. And so basically it goes back, and it's pretty fascinating. I had no idea the history of the directors, but they're martial arts guys that started as stuntmen in Hollywood. And because they became third and second unit directors on a lot of these films, they decided they wanted to find the film that was going to be best for them to make their first directorial debut. And John Wick is the script that came across, but it's the making of that and how it led to this franchise. And Keanu Reeves is, he's doing all the, the back and forth with it. So he's very, very featured in the documentary. 2 hours and 2 minutes. You can buy it for $9.99. I got it last night on Prime. Really, really good. I think you guys would both really like it.
I'll definitely check that out. I love John Wick.
Okay.
Can't wait for Ballerina and then John Wick 5.
Another recommendation. We need you to start watching some of Lance's
Q
recommendations.
is being built up
Yeah,
tremendously
all right,
here.
from
but
a Lance
we're
recommendation.
Working on it. We're working through it.
That is the viewing menu. Thank you very much, Tyler and Tim, presented by Michelson Laser Vision. When we return, Tush Push, discussed today. We were wrong about the playoff recommendation and 4 downs. That's all coming up next on the next round.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
No matter the occasion, the Next Round store has you covered with whatever you need. Head over to nextround.store and start filling your cart up now. When you wear your gear, make sure to let us know by posting on socials, and you might just end up seeing yourself during a commercial break. Go browse now at nextround.store and place your order before the break ends.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
There's no off-season at CoverCrimson.com. Sign up now and get daily shows plus behind-the-scenes intel that will keep your Alabama fandom rolling all the way up until kickoff. Follow Cover Crimson on all social platforms and sign up today at CoverCrimson.com.
We love the moments, the memories, the magic, the championships. So let's get more victories. More celebration.
He's got a chance. It won't be caught.
More unforgettable. More football.
Don't miss the last home game of the regular season on May 24th. Visit UFLstallions.com for tickets.
As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Auburn, join us over on thebarnauburn.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on thebarnauburn.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Smuff in the chat room says Brown needs a summer movie project of essential films he needs to watch over the summer sports slow period.
I will make a deal with you.
All right.
I will play a round of golf. No, I'll play 9 holes of golf for every movie we recommend to you.
What a deal for me.
Well, I mean, I got to go out there and play golf.
I know.
So it's me sacrificing.
Let's see. You've already suggested I watch.
You got to watch Die Hard and Jurassic Park.
Die Hard, Jurassic Park, Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, and I thought there was one more I have not seen.
Oh, there's a lot.
Play it for me, Misty. That is not making it right.
Did Ush watch that yesterday?
I do not know.
Melton, I know you didn't watch it. Are you going to watch Play Misty for me?
I was actually thinking about it on the way in.
Okay.
Way into work today, and it's interesting to me. I mean, you really sold it.
Okay, good.
So,
you like Clint Eastwood. Who doesn't like Clint Eastwood?
I know I like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. And you get behind the camera.
I kind of like the film Talk Radio. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I have seen it.
Who's in that?
So that would be Alec Baldwin is in it. He's probably the biggest name in it, but I can't remember the name of the guy. That's
Eric Bornson.
That sounds right.
Yeah, he's the guy that was in. He was
Oliver
Shiv's
Stone movie.
Yeah, he was Shiv's boss in Succession. The guy with the really curly hair.
Not the boss.
Yeah.
He was the.
I know who you're talking about.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
He was the. The guy.
Politician.
There in Congress.
Daniel says Shawshank. Guys, Shawshank's in my top 5.
I think Shawshank's in everybody's top 5.
Yeah, I love Shawshank. I mean,
let's do this real quick.
Okay.
We're not in a hurry, are we?
We're not. While you're pulling something up. While you pull it up, let me tell everybody about A+. It is Brad Bell, the guy that redid the master bath and the brown house. When it came time to redo our master bath, my wife Jennifer jumped on that internet and scoured that puppy, looking for the right person for the job. She talked to certain contractors. She read reviews. She talked to people that had used certain contractors. And she selected Brad Bell. I'm glad she did. Here's why. Brad came in and we gave him our vision. Our bathroom, our master bathroom was a little bit dated. It was very light white. We wanted it darker. We wanted it more updated. And that is what Brad did. He did our vision, not something he came in and sold us on. In fact, he said, you can go look at these one-day master bath remodels. I often beat their quotes almost all the time. And he goes, and they come in, they throw sometimes an existing shower. They just throw a new shower over it. That's just disgusting. We're going to do it the right way, and they did. You can see more, AlabamaBathRemodels.com. AlabamaBathRemodels.com. What he specializes in is master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. That's his specialty. Not to say it's all he does, but that's his specialty. Give Brad a call, 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758, or AlabamaBathRemodels.com, and also our friends at Woodhouse.
Yeah, hey, look, if you want to give the gift of relaxation, do it with our friends at the Woodhouse Day Spa, voted Birmingham's, or I should say America's best day spa since 2009. Make sure you stop in Summit Shopping Center's beautiful location up there. Go see Stuart and the fine folks. Tell them the next round sent you. You can also order that special person gift online 24/7 at birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Let them choose from a menu of over 70 options, including the skincare, the waxing, nail services, body treatments, massages, and much more. Again, 24/7 online, birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
Are you about to do some 100 best movies list or something
No,
like that?
so here's what. Well, it is the AFI 100. I'm just going to jump around to a couple.
Okay.
Because I'm just interested to see. Like Citizen Kane is a great movie.
Never
you wouldn't
seen it.
like it because like the style and before its time and all that kind of stuff with Orson Welles. Casablanca.
Never seen it.
It's a great movie. Got to watch that.
Is it long?
No, it's not crazy long.
It's black and white.
It is.
All right.
Doesn't matter. Raging Bull.
It matters. I've never seen it.
Arguably the best sports movie of all time.
All right. That's Bob De Niro, right?
Gone with the Wind.
You know, that's a long movie. It's got a intermission. It's so freaking long. I remember when I was a kid.
What is the average length of golf for you when you play a foursome?
I like, it just depends on where you are, public or private. I like to play a round of golf in 3.5 hours, no more than 4.
Okay, well, that's Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, but I know I'm going to enjoy the round of golf. Well, I don't know. I could play bad. Going with the Wind was on TV all the time when I was a kid. That's one of those where I've seen bits and pieces, but I have never sat down and watched the entire movie.
Yeah, it's really a good movie. Have you seen it, Melton?
Yes, but I mean, it's a one-time watch for me. I don't want to ever watch it again.
I think it's been canceled. Am I right about that?
That's fair.
Okay. Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah, I've seen Wizard of Oz.
The original from
I've seen
39.
the original,
Okay.
yes. The Judy Garland Wizard of Oz. Yeah, I've
Who
seen
are
that.
the 3 friends that Dorothy makes along the way to see the wizard?
The Tin Man, the Lion, and the Scarecrow.
Good job. See,
Yeah.
now that's all we needed to know.
Right off the tongue. Vertigo.
I've never seen Vertigo.
Have you seen any Hitchcock films?
The Birds.
Okay.
And he went on the Bates Motel tour, so there you go.
Yeah, well, we drove by it in a little cart, yeah.
The Searchers.
Never. What is that?
John Wayne. Great.
That's John Wayne?
Yeah, it's really, really good.
All right.
Star Wars.
Look, we're about to stumble into something that's going to divide the show and upset the chat room. I've never seen all 3. I think I've seen bits and pieces of the 3 that came out.
I just don't know as a kid in the 80s how you didn't see some of this stuff. Like there wasn't we all played outside, right?
Yeah.
But there were only certain things that you had to do that were entertaining.
Yeah, I just never watched Star Wars. The one with the Ewoks in it, I've seen a little bit of. The one, spoiler alert, where Luke and Darth Vader have the sword fight, I think I've seen all of that one.
Oh, my gosh.
The Empire Strikes Back.
That's Empire Strikes Back. I think
by
I've seen
far the best.
Calling it a sword fight.
A lightsaber fight. Sorry, Tim.
I remember you telling the story when you were at Disney of the Kylo Ren Darth Vader
That is right.
thing that made the guy very angry that you were along with.
Yeah.
I don't remember this
So
story.
we're walking through at MGM or at Disney Studios. Used to be MGM Studios. Disney
Hollywood
Studios. Hollywood
Studios,
Studios.
yeah.
Thank you. We're walking through. Is there any more I could get wrong in this?
I got you.
We're walking through the Star Wars exhibit, which did nothing for me, right? But you've got people that are all dressed up in all the garb. And you know how the character, like the stormtroopers, I thought that was actually pretty cool when the stormtroopers do their march.
Yeah,
and-
get arrested in the corner.
yeah.
Star Wars.
I know. So there's a guy there, and one of the characters comes out, and everybody's flooding around him. And
Lando Calrissian.
My daughter says, "Who is that?" And I go, "It's Darth Vader." And the guy goes, what is it?
Kylo Ren.
The guy he turns around, "It's Kylo Ren." And I was like,
no, he didn't.
"Oh yeah," he was super offended that I called it Darth Vader. Like even to the point my daughter looked at me like, "Are you kidding me? Is this for real?"
I'm going to assume that guy didn't have a +1 with him.
Probably no.
Brown almost got stuck in a sword fight there.
Yeah, that's
okay,
true.
So you haven't seen Psycho, right? The Graduate.
With Dustin Hoffman, you know, that's weird. That was on the other day, and I flipped past it.
So close.
Yeah, I saw part of it there, Tyler. Yeah. The Graduate.
It's a Wonderful Life. You've seen that.
You know, never start to finish. That's on every Christmas too on NBC.
Have you seen E.T.?
Yeah, I saw that.
And
Once
again,
as a
this
kid.
is just AFI's
Right.
top 100. We don't necessarily agree with it, but these are iconic movies.
I saw E.T. as a kid. Like Milton said with Gone with the Wind, I've never gone back and watched it again.
What was the candy that E.T. was obsessed
Reese's
with in that
Pieces.
movie? See?
Yeah. See,
when he watches, he really
That's right. I
in the
absorb it.
book, it was M&M's, but they couldn't strike a deal with M&M's.
Oh, seriously? So they had to go Reese's Pieces? And Reese's Pieces was like, we'll happily do
I
this.
know what your favorite war film is, Saving Private
Ryan.
Mine
yeah.
is Apocalypse Now. Have you seen Apocalypse Now?
No.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Nope.
Fantastic movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that Nicholson's best, you think?
You can make that argument.
Depressing movie, though.
It is depressing. I mean, look, you get put in a mental institution and
spoiler alert.
lobotomized.
One of the greatest ensembles of all time never gets talked about as being a great ensemble piece, but it really is.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd.
Can I just throw one out real quick?
Sure.
That won't be on this list, but that I think you would love. The Patriot. Have you ever seen The Patriot?
Oh, gosh, yes. Most war movies I've seen now. Apocalypse Now I know I haven't seen, but The Patriot with Mel Gibson
I know
and Heath Ledger.
Lance hates
Yeah,
that.
Lance thinks it's a bit cheesy. I very much like The Patriot.
But
Good
man,
scenes in it.
It just makes me want to fight for our
absolutely.
country every time I see that movie.
Absolutely. The original fight for our independence right there. I thought it was very well done.
See, sometimes you have to just sort of
Chris Cooper.
get 'em ready.
Chris Cooper plays, kind of crusty old. Chris Cooper plays like crusty better than anybody I've ever seen.
One of the best bad guys ever.
Yeah.
Jason Isaacs of White Lotus season 3.
And I'll tell you who's really good in The Patriot. Bit actor. He played the general in Valkyrie with Tom Cruise. What's the guy's name? Tom something. British actor.
Tom Wilkinson.
He
Tom
passed
Wilkinson.
away a couple
Yep.
years
Tom
ago,
Wilkinson.
Very good.
Very
Batman
good
Begins,
actor.
Yeah.
Okay, Taxi Driver.
Never seen it.
Deer Hunter.
Never seen it.
MASH.
Never seen. I've seen the show.
North by Northwest.
Hang on.
Okay.
Deer Hunter. I'm doing a list here. North by Northwest. Never seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
That's Hitchcock.
Another Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Jaws.
Yeah, I've seen Jaws. Yeah, boy, I tell you, that might have been the end of my life here
Do
if
you
I
have a
had said no
Jaws
to
trivia
them.
question for Brown to make sure that this is the case?
When was the first time you actually saw the show?
Oh, it's not till the end because they couldn't get it to work. And they named it after the attorney.
No, but it's a very infamous scene.
When the shark comes up out of the water.
Okay. That's true.
That's a
I mean,
really lame trivia
That
question.
would be, of course, how you see it, right?
Okay, well, I mean, do you have a better
But
one?
is that when they? No, that's not when they.
Okay,
say,
how about this?
What's the name of the beach?
Give me a description of the first victim in Jaws.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to do that. It's been a long time.
That's
since
how
I've seen
easy
Jaws.
is
That's
that?
pretty good. Now that's a pretty good
It was a
one.
girl in the water.
Well, that's actually correct.
It is correct.
Again, I'm 2 for 2.
Where
y'all.
was the shark located? In the ocean.
In the ocean.
That is
Yes,
correct.
that's right.
Good
We're
job,
go-
Brown. You saw it.
and we're going to need a bigger boat. I've seen it all.
I know the answer to this.
The most famous scene from it is the Robert Shaw soliloquy. Would you say that? Or
Yes.
one of the most famous
No, that's
scenes?
his best scene.
The USS Indianapolis, where they're
There
trapped
you
in the
go.
water.
That's
Yeah,
it. Now
I've
we're
seen
good.
Jaws, guys.
Okay.
We got you. We got you. You just haven't seen anything else. We got you.
I think I know the answer to this. Rocky, the original?
Yeah, I've seen all the Rockies.
Okay. American Graffiti?
Nope. American Graffiti.
Network?
Is that the? What's the storyline on that?
It's about
Network News.
Yeah.
Is that the one? We're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore.
Look at you. That's
yeah,
great.
I've seen
That's
that.
it.
Yeah. That's Robert Redford's in that.
No.
Okay.
The African Queen?
Nope.
I know you've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh yeah.
You've seen Unforgiven.
Oh yeah.
This is one of my favorites. Have you ever seen A Clockwork Orange?
Nope. You used to have a T-shirt for that.
Brown would not like A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, he would not. He would not. But it's so good.
Yeah.
Brown would not like 85% of these movies.
Most of these, I don't think
Silence
I'm
of the
gonna
Lambs is great. You finally watched it. You didn't
I
like
watched
it.
I thought it was okay.
In the Heat of the Night.
I've never seen In the Heat of the Night.
Oh, so good.
So, legitimate question. I've just wanted to ask you
Sure.
this. It's the 90s. You're walking around. Okay. There are great movies at the theater all the time.
Yeah.
And you just are like, not my thing.
Yeah,
you know,
we just didn't go to the theater
Terminator
a whole lot.
2, you just completely
I just did not go to the theater a whole lot when I was a kid. We
Titanic? Did you get
I
drugged
saw
to that?
Titanic in the theater. Yeah.
Okay.
That
was probably a Jennifer Brown thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, everybody saw Titanic. I mean, that was
Yeah, it's
the
a good movie.
summer
I'm just making
release.
sure. Like, I'm working my way.
Yeah, I saw
Okay, what
Titanic.
about Easy Rider?
Never seen it.
Platoon?
Yeah, I've seen Platoon.
12 Angry Men?
I've seen that, and I'll tell you why I watched 12 Angry Men, because somebody
Criminal
told me...
Justice Class?
No, it's not a criminal justice class, but somebody told me that it was the one of the original movies that did the single shot and how significant that was, so I had to go watch it, and I do think that's really, really cool. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
How
oh,
they-
yeah.
and then they did that again with 1912, right? The war movie, or was it
1917?
1917, yeah, which is cool, too.
French Connection?
Gene Hackman? No, I have not seen that.
Blade
Good
Runner?
Car Chase? Nope.
You would hate Blade Runner, but it's great.
I like you giving me all these movies I'd hate.
Yeah.
Blade Runner sucks.
That's enough. You
All
don't
right.
like Blade Runner?
Don't like Blade Runner, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry.
Okay, so how many you got there?
8, 9,
and we
10,
were jumping
11,
around
12,
the
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. None of which were made after 1980, I don't think. The vast majority of these.
Is Apocalypse Now on the list?
Yeah, it is. It was made after 80. I think
Okay.
that's the only one, though.
So
You
Fast
give me a
Time-
bunch of old movies.
No, okay, with an 80s, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Never seen it.
Even I've seen that one, Brown.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Tyler. You watch a lot of movies.
Yeah, but that one's like more of a just coming of age story for people in the 80s.
Have you seen Dazed and Confused?
Yeah, I've seen Dazed and Confused.
Okay.
All right.
Every time I doubt you
I know. I give you one, right?
You end up making it work.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
I've seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Midnight Run?
Never seen Midnight Run.
You would like Midnight Run.
What is
Midnight
it?
Run's great. It's so Charles Grodin is on the run.
Yeah.
Bounty hunter played by Robert De Niro.
Right.
He's got to actually get him back, but the mob's also chasing him, and Dennis Farina is the head of the mob.
Okay. That's got a lot of elements I like in
well,
there.
it's just a great comedy.
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket?
I've seen Full Metal Jacket.
Okay, very good.
No Country for Old Men?
I've seen No Country for Old Men. I wasn't...
You ever seen Heathers?
I tell you what, I did not like the end of No Country for Old Men because I'm not a big open-ending guy. Or what do you call that?
Open
interpretation guy.
Yeah.
I kind of like a movie to be nice and tied up in a bow and know how everything ends. I did not like the end of No Country for Old Men.
Heathers?
Never seen Heathers.
Drugstore Cowboy?
Never seen Drugstore Cowboy.
48 Hours?
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, they're doing another one. No, they're doing another Lethal Weapon. I have seen 48 Hours though. But did you see that? Danny Glover and Mel Gibson are back for another Lethal Weapon.
Not surprised by that, really.
Yeah, that's a lot of money in that, right?
Yeah, I guess
Blood
so.
Simple?
Never seen Blood Simple. I've never even heard of that.
It's the Coen brothers' first movie.
Not a big Coen brothers guy.
Really, really, really good.
Yeah, I know. I disappoint.
Goodfellas?
I've seen Goodfellas. Fantastic as Goodfellas.
Okay.
Yes, really, really. One of my favorite movie scenes of all time in Goodfellas. This is not a spoiler alert though. Is when they go to the restaurant and he's got his wife.
Oh yeah, that's a one shot right there. Too.
Yeah, man, that is such a
They
good
go
scene
into the
too.
kitchen.
Yeah, and everybody knows him, and they move the table and put the table up front, put the lamp on it, and sit down. Yeah, single shot there. Yeah, that's a great scene.
I think that is the best scene in the movie, really.
I kind of agree with you. I mean, that just shows you who he was, and she didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I mean,
know?
I think it really...
What is it you do for a living?
It defined that era.
It really did.
Or at least the era they were in.
And didn't define their relationship, too.
Well, you see so many things that detract you from that lifestyle that when you see something like that, it's like, I can see why this
there was
would
an appeal to it.
Pull people in.
That's right.
Did you ever see Once Upon a Time in America? Very underrated.
No, you told me to see that, and I think I started watching it and turned it off.
Yeah, Robert De Niro, James Woods.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Road Warrior or Mad Max?
Never seen either one.
Not surprised. But,
Yeah. I've heard Mad Max is good, though.
Both are really,
now,
really
is that
good.
Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome?
No, that was number 3.
That was number 3? Okay.
And I did not think it was, it was okay. Risky Business?
I've never seen Tom Cruise in Risky Business. I know the famous scene where he slides in his underwear, but I've never seen the actual movie.
Doesn't hold up as well as a lot of people believe. Almost done here. This is Spinal Tap?
I've seen This is Spinal Tap. I love the mockumentaries. I like all of those that
Turn
they've
it
done.
up to...
I don't remember that line.
11. Anyway.
I've seen This is Spinal Tap. I really like Best in Show. Waiting for Guffman is really, really good. I like that genre. I don't know why, but those documentaries are very fun.
Another Coen, but have you seen Raising Arizona?
I've not seen Raising Arizona.
The Shining.
I've not seen The Shining.
Die Hard, we know you have not seen.
Die Hard.
The Thing from 1982, John Carpenter.
I've not seen The Thing.
So good.
Kindergarten Cop.
I have not seen Kindergarten Cop. I don't think
I think you'd actually like that movie.
Would I?
I think you would.
Cop's great.
That seems like an insult. honestly.
No, it's actually a fantastic
Is it really?
blend
Okay.
of action and humor.
All right.
Okay, that's it.
Is that it? All right. Yeah. Well, I got quite a list now.
This ended more depressing than No Country for Old Men.
At least you
I
know
think
how
we
this
could
one
have
ended.
gotten through that sooner by just listing out movies that
He
Brown
has
has
seen.
seen.
We love you.
Thank you, guys. I love you guys.
It's just strange because you watch a lot of stuff.
I do. You know, I primarily watch live sports, and
Bridgerton,
and I do watch Bridgerton with my wife. We watch a lot of the stuff. Like we watched what was that? We watched White Lotus. Season 2 really, really drugged, so we gave it up.
So you didn't watch season 3?
No. Zero interest in season 3 because you both have told me season 3 is the worst of the 3, and I'm like, I didn't like 2, so how am I going to like 3?
I mean, I thought they were all good.
Yeah,
but if you don't like it, you don't like it.
I didn't like season 2. Just drug got really, really slow. Now I finished it up. Jennifer tapped out, but I went and saw it.
I'm not going to dog you out anymore because the best advice you gave me, and I've started using subtitles for everything over the last year.
Yeah,
so it was already set up. But going back to Peaky Blinders, I'm on episode 5 now. So I made it over that 2-episode hump.
Yeah, Peaky Blinders is fantastic. If you go subtitles of Peaky Blinders, it's really, really good.
I feel dirty after watching it, though.
There's a dirty element to it.
Yeah, because we've talked about it before. We're way too, I don't know, OCD about showers. And
right. Yeah.
At least 2 or 3 a day, and it looks like Peaky Blinders. They might have taken that hot bath once a week.
Yeah. Tommy Shelby, he'll smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, he will smoke a cigarette.
He does not mind.
They like to carry
up.
razor blades in their little
yes,
news
they do,
hats.
my friend. Yes, they do. That's how they got their name. Lags Eatery bringing you part of the show today. Great place to go, Lags Eatery.
Yeah, I talked to our man Eric last week. They are doing fantastic, by the way. But stop in, see those guys for lunch, dinner, breakfast, and late night. So starting tonight, they go all the way till midnight. Starting tomorrow night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they'll go till 2 a.m. Get there early again for breakfast, opening at 6 a.m. If you work that second or third shift, they're going to take care of you there. Located conveniently in Avondale between the Avondale Brewing and Cahaba, a stone's throw away from Mom's Basement. Delicious burgers, the bologna sandwich, ice cold beer. Of course, happy hour out there for the Braves games on the patios. But stop in all weekend long. It is Lags Eatery.
All right, we got sidetracked there, so we'll give you the 4 downs. I will hit the NFL story real quick. Tush Push debated today. They brought Jason Kelsey, the former center for the Eagles, in as part of the meeting to talk about the play. Like basically, Jason Kelsey, as Bunky Perkins pointed out on Twitter, he's going in to tell people how people used to push him in his butt. I mean, that's basically what he's going to do is explain the play to the owners. I guess.
If I'm Nick Sirianni though, and I'm Jeffrey Lurie, and I'm the Eagles brass, Howie Roseman, I'm like, you had a great career with us. You're a Hall of Famer. We won a championship for you. This is only benefiting us really right now, us in Buffalo.
I think that's why he's coming in. I think he's coming in to testify on their behalf. Basically.
Okay, on their behalf.
That's my understanding.
Okay. I thought it was going to be the other way, like where he gives the full disclosure of it's a play that's unstoppable.
Yeah. I think the ban has been voted down. I'm trying to look right now. Yeah. They voted the ban down. So Tush Push remains legal. The Lions removed their proposed playoff change
seeding.
that would have reseeded.
Yep.
They removed that, which tells you they didn't have the votes.
Yep.
They knew it couldn't get voted through, so they removed it. But the Tush Push, just breaking, has remained legal. In fact, this is
What did they need, 24 or 32?
I think they needed 2/3. Yeah, I think they needed 2/3.
Do you have any idea how many they got?
I don't. I'll see if I can.
Well, I'm glad it got
Pro
voted
Football
down.
Talk
I'm
here.
glad that Detroit pulled that off again. I think these are knee-jerk situations. If you weren't listening yesterday, if you hadn't seen this number, only 0.28% of plays this year were Tush Push plays.
They needed 3/4 of a majority, which is 24 votes.
Yep.
They got 22.
Oh, damn.
So only missed by 2. Pretty crazy that they let it get to a vote not knowing they had the yeses.
I would love to
They
see
only
the
needed 2
Tim
more.
no's.
Well, Philadelphia is one.
Yeah.
And
You know
Green
Buffalo.
Bay Green Bay's a yes. You think Buffalo's a no. I'm sure Miami was a yes, ban it, because we can't even run it with our quarterback. He'd die.
Rams never won it, but
Yeah.
they're like, hey, we'll beat you other way.
Yeah.
So they probably voted no.
Yeah, I'd like to. I would guarantee
yes, they didn't care.
2 of the 10 are Philadelphia and Buffalo. I guarantee you they
For
were fine
sure.
with it. Yeah. So the Tush Push remains legal in the NFL, and the Philadelphia Eagles actually celebrating it on social media, rubbing people's face in the fact that their play gets to remain. Hey, it can be bow time for you at lunch today. Our friends at Bojangles always got those great chicken tenders. You know what goes great with a chicken tender? Sweet and heat. Bojangles has 7 sauces that will add a little extra flavor to every single bite that you take. Nothing pairs better with the sauces than the hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. Add some tang with barbecue. Or if you're looking for some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you want smooth and creamy, the house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, classic Bo sauce, they're ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles and order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bow time. More of the next round after this.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Looking to expand your business? Let the Next Round help you. Contact us, sales@nextroundlive.com, and be part of the team. Advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platforms. The Next Round can take your business to the next level. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, while reaching the most desirable audience for your business. Get more information by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level using the Next Round.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, go to a new hour of the Next Round. Thank you very much, wherever you're watching or listening. If you're with us on the app, we greatly appreciate that. It's there 24-hour a day in the App Store. 24 hours a day, you can listen to us as the show just plays on loop. If you're listening to us on podcast, we appreciate that as well. If you've never done this, it really helps us if you'll go to Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Google Podcasts, the podcast platform of your choice, and go to our podcast. Like, follow, and subscribe on those platforms, and also turn on automatic downloads. When you get those automatic downloads every single day, everything we put out, that really, really helps us, and we greatly appreciate you doing that. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Share us on the social media platforms on which you're watching. We appreciate that.
Guess what I just saw?
You just saw Dan Orlovsky holding an Emmy.
Yep, which means he was there. Look. So I'm wondering how many were there. Is there a possibility Nick Saban was there?
There is a possibility. I would be very, very surprised. Don't even know where it was.
Well, I guess he had a golf tournament yesterday, right?
Yeah, he wasn't there. He was at Nick's Kids. Now, he could have flown private to it, but he was at Nick's Kids. You don't think so, Melton? You don't think it's no way Nick Saban goes gets an Emmy?
No way.
Like, Emmy is easily behind. Peter Burns asked this. It's easily behind all the national championship trophies from Alabama and LSU.
Oh, yeah. The Coach of the Year, it's behind that.
It's behind the Bear Bryant Award, the Coach of the Year. What about, like, random bowl game he won, like the Citrus Bowl where they beat Michigan?
Emmy more important.
Emmy more important than that. So certainly more important than the Weed Eater Bowl where they beat.
Yep.
Who was it they beat in that game? Iowa State or something like that, maybe?
Oklahoma State,
Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
Joe Kynes beat Oklahoma State. I remember that.
Well, maybe it was.
Did you know, to put in perspective how long he's been there, when Joe Kynes was interim coach at Alabama and they beat Oklahoma State in the Weed Eater Bowl, Mike Gundy was the coach at Oklahoma State. That's crazy to consider, isn't it? That Mike Gundy was already coaching at Oklahoma State at that time?
Oh, he's had quite the tenure.
He really has. I mean, to think that Mike Gundy was already coaching when Alabama and Joe Kynes beat them. Joe freaking Kynes. That's how long Mike Gundy has been there. He has been there a long time. Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken brings you the show, champyschicken.com. Our guy Sterling and the crew down there at Champy's, they've thrown the doors open, ready for you to come in and have lunch. Those hand-breaded chicken tenders, those great Mississippi Delta tamales, the great po' boys, all the great sides, all right there at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com, champyschicken.com. A lot of college football we have discussed today, including the report from Brett McMurphy that the very first college game day, the final one with Lee Corso, but the very first game day of the season, will be at Alabama and Florida State. Obviously, there's the Florida State ties with Lee Corso there. It's also an ABC game, 2:30 kick, middle of the day, so you should have a great turnout for that. McMurphy was like, Lee Corso has done a lot of wild things in his career, but if for his final pick, he planted the spear and rode off on the horse, that would be absolutely epic television. I can't remember the horse's name. What's the horse's name down there? Do you remember? Hang on, I'll look
Tallahassee.
it up. Chief Osceola.
Oh,
yeah,
Chief Osceola is the Renegade is the horse. Okay. Renegade, yeah. Chief Osceola is the
Yeah,
character.
I'm going to say you hear about the broken hips when somebody gets up there in age. I'm going to say riding a horse off into the sunset, probably not the right move for Lee Corso.
Probably no.
I would like to see the spear throw.
That was really cool. I've seen it one time in my life. I've never been to a game in Tallahassee. But we were all out at the Rose Bowl when Auburn and Florida State played for the national championship, and I saw it then, and it's pretty cool. It's
really
pretty cool in person.
No, and it's really cool when they're good. It's not as intimidating when they're 2-9 limping into a game.
It is not. It's probably hard for Chief Osceola to take it seriously when you're doing it last year.
Yeah, I'm a superstitious guy, and I know you're not, but I think
I'm what is it? I'm a little stitious. I'm a little stitious.
I think there's a lot of sports fans that are very superstitious. Do you think Alabama fans are like, please don't pick Florida State because it's almost like the karma of Lee Corso, his final pick?
I mean, he's got to go Florida State, right? I mean, he has kind of pinned himself in on this one. Like if he had gone to...
No, but he wants to be right.
If he had gone to Ohio State and Texas, he's obviously going to put on Brutus the Buckeye. That was the first one. But, I mean, there's a good shot he wins that, right? I mean, at least a 50-50 chance, if not a little better, he wins that one. If you go to Death Valley in South Carolina...
Well, you're putting on a Tiger head anyway.
You're putting on a Tiger head either way, but, I mean, it's probably a 50-50 shot you get that one right. If you try to play to the home crowd and put on the Florida State headgear, that's an uphill climb for them.
Well, I think so obviously he's got the tie to Tallahassee, but does he want to be right in his final pick?
You can't go to Tallahassee and pick Alabama if you're Lee Corso.
Well, if you want to be right, you can.
I agree, but I mean, it's his last pick. He never has to come back on the show. But it is kind of sad that your last pick would be a wrong pick. I would agree with you.
Whatever makes for the best theater on television, I think will be the way he goes.
I mean,
that is the FSU pick.
Actually, I think, if he will get on the horse and ride off in the sunset and plant the spear, what if he does that wearing Big Al's head? Like he just does both.
Yeah, but what if he was to fall off?
Well, that's going to be bad. But the best theater is everybody there thinks he's going to go Florida State for the feel-good moment, and he does the rope-a-dope and he puts on Big Al's head. That's the stuff. That's the stuff that made him who he is. Yep. I mean, that's really how he became who he is.
If you want to go out with a win, that's probably the way to do it.
Probably so, because again, you say the.
But if he does put on the headdress, and the Florida State crowd goes nuts Does that momentum lead over? What time's that kick?
2:30. So yeah, you'd have an entire morning session before you get into the
Does
stadium.
he want the last moment, like the fans just booing him? I don't think that's.
Yeah,
what
you're right.
wants,
He's
so.
put himself in a tough spot if, in fact, he is the one that has dictated that they go to Florida State.
Do you have any desire to be at that game?
It's gonna be so hot.
Yeah.
I've
never been to a game at Doak Campbell.
I haven't either. I've been to the stadium. It's actually a pretty cool
I've
stadium.
been by it.
They've redone it since I've been there.
I feel confident in saying that campus has more Spanish moss than any other campus.
Yeah, it's an interesting campus, and the stadium itself is interesting because there's dorms on most of the stadium. You don't even really know it's the stadium. Two things on that. Number one, it's going to be so freaking hot. And number two, I've generally steered away from week one games because I like watching week one and seeing everybody. I generally don't like going to week one games.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
can't remember the last week one game I've been to. It's just my first chance to see everybody.
I don't know if I've ever been to a week one game.
It's been a very, very long time. But, I mean, we've seen Alabama play a lot of those made-for-TV week one games. You went to the Michigan, didn't you?
I went to the Michigan game
out
at
in
12.
Dallas?
Yep.
I mean, that's a long time ago, though.
It
That was
was.
2012. It's been since that I have been to a week one game. I really don't even remember the last
Yeah,
one.
I'm right there with you. I would have no desire. Now, if you were like, hey, we've got this, we got this
private jet
taking us over to Ireland for Kansas State.
Oh, Ireland. Okay.
Iowa State.
That's a week zero game. That's a totally different segment.
I don't think a private plane could get me to any of the games in state.
You would not go to Tallahassee or Waco. Waco's a Friday night. You're not missing much there. You can be back
I would
for
go.
Saturday.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, if I could go private jet to Waco,
I would do that
for the Friday night Auburn-Baylor game,
If
and
they're
then
coming
be back
back
Saturday.
Yeah, if you're coming back after the game.
That's right. Be back Saturday, 100%.
So any multimillionaires that want us on your jet,
we'll do that.
Yeah, we will do that for
you.
Yep.
For you, we'll be
Will
your
y'all
company.
do a show on the jet?
Can
we make that happen?
We
too?
would. I don't know that we could go live. Herb Street tried that on game day and it didn't work real well. We could record it and drop it on demand though, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
I do a show on a jet. Yeah,
we're always about interesting content.
that's right.
I like it.
I do a show.
Are
on a
you
jet.
I was asking Brown this in break, and if you say no, then I'll just keep going without even following up on this. Are you a fan of Kiss, the band?
No.
Okay, we'll keep going there.
Oh, we should have said yes. Love the Blue says exactly 100 days until the kickoff of Auburn-Baylor on August 29th. I haven't done the math. I'll take his word for that one. Jeremy says about Doak, it's the second largest continuous brick structure in the world. All right, this is one we're going to have to.
Wait, so is the other the Great Wall
of China? Yeah.
There's no way this is correct.
I mean, I can believe it because it's basically a horseshoe of nothing but bricks. And then there's the field house in one end that's not bricked. I mean, it's somewhat believable. That's a lot of brick. Think about that. To go from goal line to goal line of an 80,000-seat stadium and it's nothing but brick, that's a bunch of brick.
Okay, I'm not saying it's brick, but if you've ever been on the architect tour in Chicago, floating down the river,
right?
I forgot which building it is, but it is a massive building, and if it's brick, it's got more bricks.
Okay. Jeremy has said that is the second largest continuous brick structure in the world.
Hey, ask
Only by the
AI.
Great Wall. We get largest in the U.S., of course. So
The
I'm just going
gap
to take his word for it.
between 1 and 2 on that list is much wider than the gap between 2 and 3.
There's
whatever that is.
no doubt about it. Great Wall, a lot of brick, a lot of continuous brick at the Great Wall.
Yeah.
I was texting with T-Bob last night about moving to Chicago. He's obviously very fired up going to work at Barstool, but I was like, dude, that is quite the move. Baton Rouge to Chicago. He's like, you're telling me, man, but I am. He's pumped for it.
He will do great. We talked
I
about
think
this
so,
last
too.
Wednesday when the announcement came down. He's not going to like those winters, though.
I don't think so either. I mean, I'm sure there's some cold days in Baton Rouge, but not the kind of cold you get up there.
Yeah, I had a friend actually relocate from Chicago to Atlanta for 2 reasons. Winter.
Women.
And, yeah, he was like, there's too many ugly women up
The
north.
2 W's, the winner and the women. All right, Gutter Cap, bringing you part of the show before we do our Shunnarah Spotlight here on college football.
205-823-2212. That is the number. Call Chris Stewart. Tell him the next round sent you. He is going to come out, give you an absolutely free estimate. It's a dirty, dangerous job. You're doing the spring cleaning. The last thing you want to do is get the dangerous ladder out, get on the roof, you slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. No good to the wife or kids. Cap it, don't snap it. 205-823-2212. Again, make sure you tell Chris Stewart, next round sent you. They're going to give you an incredible deal. For more information, guttercapbirmingham.com.
The College Football Spotlight.
The Shunnarah Spotlight presented by our guy Alexander Shunnarah, Trial Attorneys, a national firm with southern roots, headquartered in Birmingham for more than 24 years. And they've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. And their elite trial lawyers have recovered more than $2 billion, maintaining Alexander's core values of integrity, mastery, passion, and success. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, make sure you contact the Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com. Our football spotlight today involves win totals and conference championship odds. We won't do every single team.
No, I'll jump around.
Yeah, but you've got some highlighted win totals you'd like to hit, and then each Power 5 conference.
Yeah, well, let me start with the AAC, just
Okay,
because we do have a little local flavor here, and easily the representative for the Group 5 could come out of the AAC.
I will say this has never come up on the show until now. Tim Melton has said if there is a certain number of UAB's win total,
I've got it right here.
He will empty every dime in his bank account and bet the under.
Okay, here we go.
Correct.
I will get to that. I'll save that for last when we're talking about the AAC. There are 3 teams that have the highest win total at 8.5 right now. But I do find this is interesting because one of those teams is Memphis, but they're 5-1 to win the AAC. Also with 8.5 wins for their win total is Navy, but they're only plus 325 to win the conference. And your conference favorite, according to Vegas right now, Tulane, win total 8.5 plus 240 to win the conference.
When we looked at their schedule, though, I think they're out of conference a little bit tougher, right?
A little bit difficult. Yeah. UAB, their win total last year was 6.5.
Yeah, they went under, by the way.
Went under. Yep. They are 200-1 to win the AAC. Okay. Don't feel good about that.
Burn money instead.
Their 2025 win total is 4.5.
Melton?
Take the under.
No, Melton, you said if it was 2.5. Didn't you say 2.5?
I think I did say that off the record.
My apologies, off the record.
I think that's.
So
I think that's easy
4.5. Melton says is the easiest money you'll ever make taking the under.
They haven't won a road game in 2 years.
They have not won a road game in 2 years. To this point.
Look, if they easily get there, it's a bigger problem. But even if they get there, if they go 4-8 this year, does Dilfer survive?
Probably not. He had to get the vote of confidence from Mark Ingram just after this year.
I wish he would pull a Hugh Freeze and say, you know what, we're going to make a bowl game this year.
Well,
that would actually fire us up.
I don't think it's
you might as well.
3. You ought to be making a bowl game. I would agree.
Should.
Alabama State, he will not even say that that's a win. That's a win. At Navy, that's probably a loss, right?
Yep.
Akron,
that's a win.
It better be. At Tennessee is a loss, so now you're 2-2. And here's the remainder of their conference schedule: Army at home,
that's a loss.
At Florida Atlantic. Tulsa. Memphis at home.
Loss.
At UConn.
Tulsa, but I think UConn probably wins that game.
If you just go toss-ups, that gets you to 4.
Haven't won a road game in 2 years.
They have not won a road game in 2 years. The next one's a road game at Rice, who is absolutely awful. But it's on. But as Melton points out, it's on the road.
Rice, one of the few teams in the AAC that has a lower win total at 3.5.
That's a one you have to win. Yep. North Texas.
Where's that game?
It's at home.
I think they win that game, but North Texas 6.5 is their win total.
USF at home.
I think they lose that game.
At Tulsa.
They probably win that game.
At Tulsa? Now, you've got them winning all these road games, as Melton points out. What, Melton?
Well, I mean, they haven't won a road game in 2 years, and all their players have transferred out of the program. I mean, there's something to be said about that when you see that.
I sure as hell would not play the over.
I would tell you that. Not.
Right. Okay, jumping to the ACC, your obvious favorite is Clemson, almost even money to win the conference. Their win total is 9.5. Right behind them, 3 teams with 8.5 win totals: Miami, Louisville, and SMU. So our Florida State team, last year their win total was 9.5. This year it's only 7.5 this year. It's 16-1 to win the conference. I would play the under.
Yeah, I think I would too at 7.5. Looking at that schedule earlier.
Big 12. Who do you think your conference favorite is? You've got a 2-way tie. Actually, you have got 5 teams that are right there together.
I'm going to say they stuck with BYU.
BYU did not win it last year.
No, last year it was Iowa State that won it.
No.
Iowa State won it. Or, no. I'm sorry, Arizona State won it.
Arizona State.
They beat Iowa State.
They are your favorite along with Texas Tech. Win totals are 8.5. Arizona State's win total last year was only 4.5.
Right.
Flew over that. Plus 575, both Texas Tech and Arizona State. Right behind, Kansas State's got an 8.5 win total, 6-1. Utah, it's 7.5 wins, 6-1 as well. And at 7-1 to win the conference with 7.5 wins, Auburn's foe to kick off the season.
The old Baylor Bears.
Yeah, and BYU I think is good value here. Over 7.5, 9-1 to win that conference.
Yeah, that's a complete toss-up in that conference.
Big Ten. You know who the favorite is.
Big Ten, the favorite's Ohio State as
2-1 to win the conference.
Yeah.
10.5 is that win total. It was 10.5 last year. It went under the 10.5, by the way.
That's right.
And they still won the national championship.
Hard to do.
Penn State's got a 10.5 win total at plus 240 to win the conference. Oregon 10.5 win total at plus 250. Then you can start getting a little value. Michigan 8.5 win total plus 650. You can actually get USC at 28-1 to win the conference.
God, it is a sad spot for USC.
Yeah.
I mean, you may as well burn your money.
7.5 wins. Conference USA. You want to hear Jacksonville State win total 6.5?
What we got?
5-1 to win the conference.
Okay.
Liberty, pretty substantial favorite, almost even money to win the conference. 8.5 is their win total. Boise State in the Mountain West, win total 9.5 minus 125, so better than even odds to win the conference there. Notre Dame, win total is 10.5.
Woo!
So they've got one blemish on their schedule. Give me Notre Dame's schedule again.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, they open with Miami in Miami.
Well, you're breaking in a new quarterback, too.
And Miami is, too, but it's an experienced quarterback, Carson Beck.
Yeah, but if you get that win in that game, Notre Dame's probably going to be a 2.5 to 3.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
If you get a win or a loss out of Notre Dame and you've got the under, you got to feel pretty good about them not winning 11 straight.
After Miami in a bye, they host Texas A&M. I mean, that's a pretty tough start.
It is,
at Miami and hosting A&M. But then it slides off.
Yeah, what
a
are
little
other
bit.
Potential losses?
You said the other day at Arkansas wouldn't blow you away.
Oh, no, would not.
Yeah, that's week 4 at Arkansas. They host Boise State, NC State, and USC. At BC, host Navy. At Pitt. I mean, that's not a layup if Eli Holstein plays like he did last year.
That is becoming one of my favorite unders this year.
Yeah, you host Syracuse, and you're at Stanford.
Yeah. Okay, here's the SEC. You have a favorite to win the conference,
which is going to be the Texas Longhorns.
Plus 275. That is that the longest odds of a Power 5 to win the conference?
Boy, I'm surprised at that.
Well, I guess I'm
Big
not
12.
That, yeah. Big 12.
Okay.
Just because there's so many teams.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them bunched, yeah.
Their win total is 9.5. Texas is. I would play the under that, I think.
Under 9.5?
9-3.
Okay.
Georgia, their win total 9.5 plus 375. Interesting here. One other team has a 9.5 win total in the SEC. Who is it? Texas, Georgia, and
LSU?
Alabama. 4-1 to win the conference.
You know, when you look at Florida State and Wisconsin out of conference, that helps. And I don't ding Alabama for that. When they schedule those games, Florida State and Wisconsin were good programs, but they've just fallen way off. So it becomes a pretty manageable out of conference schedule for Alabama.
Behind your 3 favorites to win the conference with win totals at 9.5, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, there are 3 teams with win totals at 8.5. LSU is obviously one.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss is one. And there's one more.
Florida?
Tennessee.
Ooh, that's an interesting one without Nico.
Yeah, they're a little further back than the other 8.5 win totals to win the conference. They're 12-1 right now.
Right.
You have there's quite a handful here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams with 7.5 win totals. So that next tier behind 3 9.5s and 3 8.5s.
Yeah.
5 7.5s.
Yeah. Who you got?
We have got Florida, South Carolina, Auburn, Missouri, and Texas A&M.
I think I'd go over on Florida. That might be the only. Auburn tempts me to go over.
I would lean over on Auburn.
I think I'd go over on Auburn and Florida.
I'll tell you, Oklahoma's 6.5. Tough schedule, but I got to play the over there.
Yeah.
So at the bottom, and you tell me if any of these guys could get fired if it goes under the total.
Okay.
Arkansas 5.5.
Under the total, he's fired.
Kentucky 4.5.
That's a big buyout, but it's starting to get yucky up there. That's potential.
Vanderbilt 4.5. I don't think so.
I don't think he gets fired. No.
What about Jeff Levy, year 2, 3.5 is the total? If they were to go 3-9,
so 5 wins in 2 years, right? Then they were a 2-win team,
and they didn't win in the SEC.
Yeah, and if he's 3-9, they probably haven't won an SEC game either. So it's 2 winless years in the SEC. He'd be in trouble.
You can get Mississippi State at 500-1 to win the conference.
I'm going to pass on that.
Is this the first time Vanderbilt has had shorter odds?
Probably.
Yeah, at 300-1 along with Kentucky.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's some win totals and some conference odds to win the conference championship.
That is our Shunnarah Spotlight. Thank you to Alexander Shunnarah, Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com for bringing you the Shunnarah Spotlight every day. We're about to do 4 downs. Boy, a lot of talk on social media. The Eagles are taking a freaking victory lap. They have even tweeted out a photo of Jalen Hurts behind center, and all it says on the photo is push on. That's all it says. So the Eagles taking a victory lap that the tush push, the brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it, will continue to be legal in the Southeastern Conference.
This is a serious question.
In the NFL, I'm sorry.
Because normally, who's at the top? Everybody wants to knock them off. The Eagles are your Super Bowl reigning champions right now. If this was 15 years ago, and obviously this is not going to make sense because he never would have done this, but if the Patriots had a play like this, would it have been outlawed?
Probably.
Just because everybody hated the Patriots, and it was like, let's find a way to get them out.
And the Patriots had a reputation for playing at least in the gray area, if not beyond the gray area. And people, I think, would have punished them for that. So, yeah, I think the Patriots probably would have lost this.
Yeah, I think so.
15 years ago, Bill Belichick's fiance would have been about 10.
She would have been.
Hey, you know what I found out today? Because I thought we were going to go a little deeper with Peter Burns on this.
Yeah.
So, Belichick has a daughter.
Right.
So
2 sons and a daughter, right?
Yeah, the Jordan Hudson's 24, right?
Uh-huh.
The daughter's 41.
Oh, my gosh.
So think about this. The daughter was a senior in high school when his girlfriend was born.
That's almost a crazy gap if it's a male 41 and female 24. I mean, that's not a crazy gap, but it's
okay.
Let's
not get
it's
nuts
pushing
here.
on it. It's pushing on crazy gap there.
But I think a crazier gap would be 73 to 41. I'm saying if he dated somebody his daughter's age.
Yeah, I know. He's blitzed that by almost 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, I have heard people have conversations. I would never date younger than my daughter.
Right.
Belichick apparently did not have that conversation.
He did not, or he didn't live up to it. Lance, before we do 4 downs, one way you, I'm not going to do that transition. Dr. B, bringing you that head of hair.
Oh, I wanted to know the transition.
One way you could date younger women if you're getting a little bit older is grow that hair back with our guys, Dr. B.
Yes. If you want to be Bill Belichick one day, make sure hair does not fall out. Go see Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business, t3hair.net. For more information, you can call that number that we called, me and Brown both, 205-319-0316. Tell them the next round sent you. We're doing that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch, and that is it. I did it again last night. My hair has more than doubled in thickness, and right now T3's got that new test. It's so easy, painless, affordable. Takes 4 seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. There are over 10 categories of agents they use, knowing they will work for you. They will custom compound these agents for you in pillow topical form. You pick and choose which agents you want. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing your hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Come see Dr. B. Find out what will work for you. 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
First down.
More wins this year. Florida State, team we just previewed, or the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I think Florida State's probably 6-6, 7-5 at best. The Jags, I
don't feel good about that.
I don't feel great about them getting more than 7 either. I think I might go Florida State.
Boy, I think I'm going to lean Florida State here too.
Which is just amazing when you consider the kind of money they're paying their quarterback.
Yeah, if the Jags win less than 6 games this year after coming off of 4-13 with the money they're playing Trevor Lawrence, I mean, really, it is time to reevaluate the quarterback position.
I mean, it is. I don't know what you do in that situation because you got a ton invested in him and you can't really trade him because.
But I'll tell you this, so the Rams looking for a new quarterback. I don't know if I would love Trevor Lawrence. Now, again, that's a very quarterback-friendly system, much like if Trevor Lawrence started for the Vikings this year, probably a playoff team.
Yeah.
By the way, I saw Justin Jefferson, who is kind of the ambassador for the 2026 Olympics with flag football, and he said it's his lifetime dream to win a gold in flag football. First of all, we've never had it before.
Yeah, lifetime dream?
Yeah, I would think Super Bowl might be important.
Yeah,
important.
If I'm a Vikings fan, I like you to reevaluate those goals, please.
Well, and I don't want you playing.
Yeah, that's right. The first NFL player I saw react to it was Tyreek Hill, and I'm like, of course.
Did he laugh about it?
No, he was like, his reaction was he's excited about it.
Don't get all this.
I don't either.
Okay. There we go.
Second down.
So I'm going to keep all this Florida State in the family, okay? So here we go. Mr. T is 73 years old today. Better career, Mr. T or Jimbo Fisher?
I pity the fool who picks Jimbo Fisher.
Well, Mr. T has just flamed out so much.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he had a really good run.
Oh, he had a great run.
I think
Clubber Lang.
I think I'd go Mr. T.
Well, I'm going to go Mr. T.
Yeah, you've never liked Jimbo Fisher.
But Mr. T had his own cereal.
Yep.
Was Clubber Lang. So he was the heavyweight champion of the world for a little bit.
Action figure. I mean, people dressed up him as Halloween.
The WWE Hall of Famer as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So the A-Team was obviously kind of his coup de grace. But, I mean, that was maybe the number one primetime show for a while, at least action show it was.
If we're going airport test, it's Mr. T in the landslide.
And a landslide.
But he shaves his mohawk and doesn't wear his feathers and his gold.
Yeah, if he shaved his mohawk, I don't know if you'd recognize him.
I don't think you would.
But the mohawk, definitely. I mean, he kept that look for a very long time.
So are we all going Mr. T?
I would,
I think so.
Yeah, 100%.
Third down.
Josh Allen, 29. Ultimately, better career. I know the money's there, and I know he's got an MVP, but Josh Allen or Jameis Winston? Now, Winston's a 500 NFL quarterback, but he has won a national championship. He's won a Heisman. He got a ton of money.
I mean, this seems really easy that it's Josh Allen.
I mean, in the moment in time, it does.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely going to be the better of the NFL quarterbacks.
No doubt.
But Winston had the better,
but let me ask you
the
this.
more prominent college career.
I think once we saw Winston in the NFL, I think the expectations went this way.
Yeah.
But now with Josh Allen, if he never brings that Super Bowl to Buffalo,
it will be a disappointment.
He is their best. As good as Jim Kelly was, Josh Allen is the best quarterback they've ever had.
I agree with you.
And if he doesn't win one, are they ever going to win one?
J.P. Lossman maybe third. Best quarterback
yeah.
they've ever had. I say if he doesn't win one, it's going to be a disappointment. But he will end up, I think, with a better career than Jameis Winston.
I'm going to go Josh Allen as well.
Some of that is what you've seen more recently. You grade higher most of the time, right? So what you've seen recently, he's way better than Jameis Winston.
Quick alternative: crab legs or buffalo wings? Which one would you go with as being the better to eat?
Crab legs. I like crab meat, but it's a little bit like crawfish. It is a lot of effort for the meat.
The reward is so.
The reward is good, but I would go wings.
Yeah, I'm not sure the juice is worth the squeeze on the crab legs.
I
That is
actually
a lot
don't.
of effort.
I don't eat wings enough.
I like wings.
Wings are really good.
But now my daughter's Taekwondo instructor, young Hallie Brown, black belt in Taekwondo, by the way.
Wow.
Her instructor,
Alex Skarsgård?
Justin Scarcella, that was really close. You didn't get either name right. Justin Scarcella is from Buffalo, and he has told me what we envision as Buffalo wings aren't really what is popular in Buffalo. Like we've kind of, I don't want to say Americanized it because Buffalo isn't America, but
sounds like a like the Buffalo community doesn't accept.
I think that's a lot of that. You know what else he told me is when he first moved down here, he's like, I wanted to find a place that served wings and pizza. So he went to a local place. He's like, they're like, do you know what you want to go? I just want some wings and pizza. I'm like, we don't have pizza here because you serve wings. And he was blown away. He's like, every place in Buffalo that does wings also does pizza. They just go hand in hand.
I want to try to be as gluttonous as I can. I don't want just wings.
Oh,
I want wings and pizza. And if you can throw some fries on the side.
That'd be fantastic.
You heard Jim Palmer last month say he's never eaten wings, right?
Jim Palmer said that?
On the Orioles broadcast,
pitcher?
yeah.
That he's never eaten wings.
Never had wings.
I've had wings this week. I love wings.
We went to Slice on...
I had wings Sunday night.
Monday night.
Yeah.
And the boys got wings and a pizza, but I didn't eat a wing. I did pay for
I like wings. Yeah.
Fourth down.
Do you guys prefer flats or drums for wings?
I'm a
flats guy.
I'm a drums guy. I'll eat either, but I'm a drums guy.
I think the flat is actually the better flavor.
I agree.
But the drum is just easier to navigate.
Yeah, drumsy. You can knock a drum out in a hurry.
Back and forth on it. And the drum, it's difficult to dip the drum, really.
That flat, you got to break that one joint every single time. Don't you?
I mean, you can.
No, I think you have to. You don't break the joint?
No,
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Melton, could you eat 100 wings right now for enough money?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a lot of wings.
That is a lot of wings.
Did you already hit fourth?
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., Christopher Wallace would have been 53 today. Ultimately better career. Biggie Smalls, Bobby Bowden. Or who had the better career?
I would go Bobby Bowden. I mean,
I'm going to go Bowden, too.
He was the winningest coach in college football history at one point.
Yeah, as much as I love the Notorious B.I.G., and look, you're going to see more Biggie T-shirts out there than Bowden T-shirts.
Nick Saban rewrote the head coach's record book, basically. But one of the most amazing records was their run of finishing the season in the top 5 of the Associated Press.
It was, but I don't think you're ever going to hear the question, the universal question, Bobby Bowden or. You always hear Biggie, or Tupac.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't know if that'll ever die.
Yeah, it may not.
But I would go Bobby Bowden.
He got to grow old. That's the biggest difference in this debate right now.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, but Biggie, I would say, people want to die, young with a good-looking corpse. Not going to say he did that, but he did die young.
Yeah, you missed the good-looking corpse part. I've never heard that. I want to die young with a good-looking corpse.
Have you never heard that?
I've never heard that. That is 4 downs.
That's my life goal. That to play flag football for a gold.
Yeah, win a gold in flag football and die young with a good corpse. Hey, Champies brings you this hour. The next round, Champies world-famous fried chicken, champieschicken.com, champieschicken.com. You can go right down there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Join Sterling, Megan, and the entire crew there at Champions. Get some of those world-famous Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Also get the chicken fingers, the po' boys, the great sides. Have a great drink right there at Champions. champieschicken.com, champieschicken.com.
If you want to know how big Pat McAfee is, he is interviewing Tom Cruise right now.
Yeah.
With Mission Impossible hitting the theaters tomorrow.
Now, it is a media tour, so I'm sure Cruise is doing a lot of these.
But that's still, that's pretty massive.
No, if they called us today and said Tom Cruise could be on, we'd do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, we would ask him. And Lance, you know what Lance would ask him?
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick was the ACC or has a kid. We do trash next.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We've got some bold projections from CBS Sports, college football writers.
Bold or bold?
And you always rank how bold they are and if they'll come true or not.
Yep.
And it's from...
Last list we had was very bold. I forgot whose it was.
Well, yeah, who
Most
did
of
that?
these are not bold.
You gave these you gave those a thumbs up. These are from 4 CBS college football writers/personalities. After you tell us about Hemp Hill, we'll do the 4 power conferences. You tell me if they're bold and if they'll come true. But first, Hemp Hill Services.
The weather is heating up. You want to make sure the HVAC unit ready to keep up with this changing weather. Right now, $1,000 off HVAC units plus 0% financing. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew there. Inquire about more information, 205-229-2090. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of these issues. Hemp Hill Services. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
In the Big Ten, Bud Elliott's bold prediction says Penn State's offense will be better than Penn State's defense. Not incredibly bold, but it has been James Franklin's problem is having a really good offense, especially in those big games. It's what's cost him a lot of those big games.
You've got the best 1-2 with Allen and Singleton in that backfield. You've got one of the more experienced quarterbacks, and he is a pretty good quarterback in Drew Aller. Abdul Carter coming off that defense. I just think missing Tyler Warren, that was what got them. It was like that third pitch when you needed, to get that quality out. I mean, Tyler Warren was the wrinkle in the offense that was so good and saved them in so many games. And without Tyler Warren, I'm just going to be really interested to see how this offense. So I'm not going to say that's ultra bold.
Yeah. Keep in mind, Jim Knowles moves over from Ohio State to coach their defense. So they've brought in a really good defensive coordinator after they lost Tom Allen to – where did he go? Tom Allen. He went in the ACC somewhere. Clemson. He went to Clemson, right?
Jim Knowles has had success everywhere he goes.
I'll do the SEC last. ACC, Chip Patterson says Florida State and Boston College will have the same number of wins. The tie there is Tommy Castellanos, and this is not a good thing for Florida State if you got the same amount of wins as Boston College.
Probably a good thing for Bill O'Brien because I would think at that point I don't see Florida State going like 5-7 or 4-8. So if you're Boston College, you probably – Boston College had 7 wins last year, and you're losing your quarterback to Florida State. I don't know.
Yeah, if they're both like 5-7, that'd be really bad news.
Yeah, I'd say that's somewhat bold just because Florida State had such a bad year. They really, really need to bounce back.
Big 12, Tom Fornelli says the Big 12 will get 2 teams in the college football playoff this year. The ACC did it last year.
We had 3 teams last year with 11 wins, and only 1 got in. I just don't think there's enough respect for this conference.
Yeah.
So that's bold. If 2 were to get
I think that is actually a bold prediction. I would have to look at who the big non-conference wins would be.
Okay, so if Baylor was one of your shorter odds to win this conference, if they beat Auburn.
Yeah, but then Auburn needs to be good. That's the problem, and Auburn can be. I'm not saying they couldn't be good with a Baylor, but I'm just saying that's what you would have to have is Auburn to be good. Arizona State's out of conference is Mississippi State. That's not going to do anything for you.
Iowa State's out of conference. They always have Iowa.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah, Colorado plays Georgia Tech out of conference. Give me another contender there. BYU?
Kansas State.
BYU plays
Kansas State, yeah.
Or, well, hang on.
BYU Kansas State, both of those.
I pulled up BYU. Give me the BYU schedule, please. BYU plays out of conference Stanford. That's going to do nothing for you.
Nope.
Boy, they don't have any good out-of-conference games that I've seen, Lance, from any of their contenders.
Did you pull Kansas State?
I'm about to right now. They better have a good one. That's going to be the flaw in this argument is you're just not going to have any good wins out of this conference. Kansas State's best out-of-conference game is Army? That can't be right. Yeah, it is right.
TCU, there are a lot of people that think that they're really going to bounce back in a big way. They won 9 games last year. If Josh Hoover is that good, I mean, you do have two names at least from the ACC on the schedule.
Yeah, at North Carolina and SMU. They play SMU at home. You need SMU to be really good. That North Carolina game is going to get a lot of eyeballs because of Belichick. But
don't you think that's probably the best combination out of conference we've seen in the Big 12? I don't think the Big 12 gets 2. I would be really, really surprised that's a bold prediction.
Yeah, that'd be tough with that out of conference schedule. And then the SEC bold prediction comes from everybody's favorite SEC talking head, and that is
tell me though that it's Arch Manning has more interceptions than touchdowns.
I actually think this is the boldest of the predictions.
And who's making the prediction?
Danny Cannell. Oh. The SEC champion goes 9-3 in the regular season. That's Danny Cannell's bold prediction.
Okay, so let's go back to it last year. Regular season.
Georgia and Texas played for the championship. Georgia had 2 losses. Alabama and Ole Miss.
Tennessee had 10 wins for sure. Did Georgia and Texas, were they both 10-2?
Yeah, Texas's only loss was Georgia, right?
Yeah, they were both 10-2.
Yeah. No, who else did Texas lose to?
No, yeah.
They only lost to Georgia, did they not?
Texas, only had the 1 loss.
Yeah.
Because they lost.
Their second loss was to Georgia in the conference championship game.
Yeah, and then their third loss was when they got eliminated.
Yeah, so Texas was a 1-loss runner-up. Georgia was a 2-loss champion. Their 2 losses were Alabama and Ole Miss.
Yeah, I would be really, really surprised if 9-3 was the best.
Yeah.
I say that. I mean, do you feel like Texas is going to be as good as everyone says?
I think so. I mean, I got them winning the national championship.
Georgia. I think that's the only way Alabama fans can stomach 3 losses.
Is if they also win the conference?
Yeah, if they go 9-3, they play for the SEC championship. Now, let me ask you, this comes back to it. If you've got 3 9-3s, at 9-3, you don't want to play for the conference championship, right?
Again, I say with the strength of the SEC, the team that plays in Atlanta never gets left out of this thing. So I know what you're about to say.
No, I was just going to say,
could be a 4-loss team.
Yeah, a 9-4 Alabama that loses, and they lose by double digits to Georgia or Texas. Do they get in over that 2-loss second Big 12 team?
I have been told by people inside the Southeastern Conference office, you're wasting your time discussing a team that plays in Atlanta being left out. It is never going to happen. Yeah. That's what I've been told from inside the SEC office.
And before you say this would never happen, I never thought we would see guys like Darian Mensah, again, the quarterback for Duke, making $2 or $3 million a year. But if that was the case, there would be teams campaigning to not play in Atlanta.
I would agree with you on that. I mean, you saw it with Georgia last year. They lost their starting quarterback en route to winning it. I mean, that is.
Yeah, and I Georgia, say what you want. They had every opportunity to win another national championship if Carson Beck was healthy going into the postseason.
That is Danny Cannell with probably the boldest of the predictions, I think, from the SEC, that an SEC champion to go 9-3, but you saw the other power conferences there. That brings us to trash. Brought to you by Bud Light. If you would, Tim Melton, please hit the open. I snuck it up on Melton. I am sorry.
Now, if that's too much, 12 different appetizers to choose from. I'm a fried dickle pickle man. I'm a fried dill pickle man.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
The old dickle pickle.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up some cold, delicious Bud Light. I see at the SEC tournament, people already throwing back some cold Bud Lights.
Oh, that's a little early. Not even lunchtime yet.
It's 11:49.
Mississippi State fans better not be doing it because they're about to have to be on the road back to Starkville, Lance.
Prison officials in Costa Rica caught an unlikely suspect attempting to smuggle drugs behind bars last week. Costa Rican Ministry of Justice said in a social media post that guards at the local penitentiary captured a cat climbing over its fence last Tuesday night with about 236 grams of marijuana and 68 grams of heroin strapped to its back.
Actually, not the dumbest idea here. I mean, you don't want to lose the product, but the cat is going to largely go unnoticed if it's going through a wall in a prison. And
is it going to be largely unnoticed?
I don't know. I mean, if I'm a guard and I saw a cat walking around, I don't think I would get close enough to see the stuff taped on it.
If I'm pumping gas over next to the old Superior Grill, I see feral cats running around all the time. I don't blink twice.
That's right.
If I was to see a cat running through the halls of our building up here.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking perhaps it was outside, like between the wall and the building there.
So officials believe the cat was deployed in an apparent attempt to smuggle the drugs to prisoners inside, according to a video posted online by the country's Ministry of Justice. Prison guards caught the cat while it was climbing atop a chain-link fence with barbed wire attached to it. Now, quote, thanks to swift actions of responding officers, the cat was caught with the packages removed, preventing them from reaching their final destination. According to the BBC, Costa Rican prison officials handed the cat over to the National Animal Health Service for an evaluation after the drugs were cut off the back of its body. Video posted to social media showed prison officials using scissors to cut the package from the cat's fur. They have no idea who actually tried to smuggle the drugs into the prison, nor do I think they will find it.
You have to kill the cat at this point, right? He's a drug runner. Or at least deport him. Send him back.
Poor cat.
You can't have these kind of cats loose on the street, Lance. They're going to be running drugs.
You ever had a cat?
I have never had a cat. I have zero interest in having a cat. Don't really care for cats. Cats, they don't do it for me, man.
So yesterday on the Meltdown, you guys talked about the new likeness of Jason Voorhees, right?
That is correct.
Not good?
Not good. No.
So a man named Michael Myers has been arrested in West Virginia and is accused of murdering his brother over the weekend.
Ew.
Now, according to the criminal complaint, May 18th, 911 received a call from Myers, 67, who told dispatchers, quote, his brother was shot and he was dead. Dispatchers asked the brother had he shot himself, to which Myers said he would tell, quote, law enforcement when they get here. Now, shortly after
Alrighty, sir.
deputies arrived at Myers' residence, they said they found the victim lying dead near the front door on the front porch. They added that blood could be seen on the floor of the porch and an apparent gunshot entry wound could be seen on the victim's upper back. Deputies say no weapons were found around the victim while on the scene. Deputies spoke with Myers, who told them he used an 8mm rifle to shoot the victim from the stairs of the residence, and he did not move the victim's body. This is exactly what James Gandolfini did to Steve Buscemi, his cousin, in Sopranos, which, by the way, I saw somebody sent me the best breakdown of the final scene in Sopranos ever. Have you seen it yet?
I have not.
Restaurant blows up.
Do you know who? No, I mean, like, this will tell you exactly what happened, and it's all 1,000% spot on.
I thought he had said what he was thinking. I thought David Chase answered that question once.
He pretty much did, and he said, look, he did die in this, but if you see it, it's from the Ghost Face Panda.
All right.
Do you know who the Ghost Face Panda is?
Very reliable. Very reliable.
Yeah.
It's so well done. I'm telling you, if you're a Sopranos fan, find it. The breakdown, I believe it. That's my final theory on what happened.
Did you like the end?
I didn't really have a problem with it when it happened. It was a little strange in 2007 when everything went dark.
Yeah.
But, you know, the more I process it, and I've seen it in its entirety 4 times now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think it was well done.
Yeah. I didn't like that they blew that restaurant up with those other people in there, but.
So the 6 fugitives from the Orleans Justice Center, which we talked about them yesterday or the day before on Trash, they have taken the internet on a wild turn right now. Social media users now literally placing parody bets on which escapee will be the last one caught. Now, it started after the 4th inmate was captured on Monday night, May 19th, when a Facebook user posted a mock graphic complete with betting odds and the hashtag prison break parlay. Now, the post read, down to the final 6, let's get it. Number 1 shortest odds, Derek Groves, who you see in the upper middle there, at plus 150. Corey Berg comes in at plus 180. Number 3 here, Jermaine Donald plus 200, Antoine Massey plus 250, Leo Tate plus 300, and Linton Van Buren is your long shot at plus 350.
Okay, I think we've got the winner though. 10 hours ago, update on the story. The 5th inmate has just been arrested. I'm gonna have to dig to find out.
Tell me it was Linton Van Buren.
Who are you going with?
Well, the favorite was Derek Groves.
Derek Groves?
Yeah.
First to be captured was Kendall Myers. Second to be captured was Robert Moody. Third to be captured was DeKinian Dennis.
Okay, none of these guys are on here.
Gary Price, okay.
No.
Corey Boyd.
Corey Boyd, yeah, he was your second favorite, plus 180.
Yeah.
He's already back in custody.
Oh, wait a minute. They arrested a guy on the inside for helping with the escape.
Yeah,
that's the guy from the inside. 5 out of the 10 still remain at large. Okay.
So Corey Boyd. So Grove's your favorite still out there. Donald, Massey, Tate, and Van Buren.
Yep, those 5 are still left. My apologies. I didn't realize there were that many. I didn't know it was.
Should we do an internal kind of Deadpool on here?
I'm going to take Corey Boyd. Do I get the first pick?
I thought you said he'd been arrested.
Yeah, that was the one that got arrested.
I'm going to take Van Buren. I'm going to take Van Buren.
Okay,
we should have let him make the pick.
I know. I got Van Buren. He's got a presidential name. I think he's going to get away with this.
I think just book by cover, I think Groves is your favorite.
Leo Tate, all the way.
Okay. Leo Tate. All right. Tyler, who you got?
I'm liking Linton Van Buren.
I took Van Buren. Van Buren's off the board. Sorry.
It's a very uppity name, but I think
it is.
Yeah, with that kind of name, I thought he might have a good plan on how to stay out.
I think Groves is going to do whatever it takes. I don't know what his rap sheet is he might be one of those, like, I'm not going back in, whatever it is, but he looks like he could hotwire a car.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Antoine Massey.
All right,
he seems bigger than everybody else, so I think he's not going to go down without a fight.
I just think Groves reminds me a little bit of Saquon.
Yeah.
And so
we will absolutely never remember who everybody picked when this story comes to its finality.
100%.
But I'll know I've got Van Buren. I will remember that.
Hey,
I'll
we'll
remember
throw in
I've got
Corey
Groves.
Boyd for you as well,
Okay.
Brian. You can have him too.
Finally,
He may get back out.
Chicago O'Hare International Airport had a little bit of a security scare over the weekend. Turns out just a food delivery. DoorDash driver was en route to his destination when he, quote, accidentally drove into an unauthorized secure area within within O'Hare Airport, according to CBS News.
My bad.
Despite the strict rules of the Chicago Airport pickup and drop-off areas, the delivery person entered the secure areas before a worker realized that he wasn't supposed to be there. Now, according to the outlet, source noted that the driver drove miles along the interior and restricted roads at the airport and possibly even crossed runways before someone in the air traffic control tower actually saw him. Business jet pilot and former air traffic controller Robert Mark told CBS that incidents like this are a major safety concern for the airport, but they don't happen often. Quote, luckily not very often, but I have seen it at other airports, and it's frightening when you're up and then you go, who the heck is that? Mark explained. Now, the Chicago police confirmed accidental trespasser, 36-year-old man working as a delivery driver, and after conducting a investigation, they believe the actions simply a mistake. No charges or citations were filed against the DoorDash driver.
Well, that's good. I mean, if you can determine it's a mistake, I don't think we need to charge him with anything. That is Trash. It is always brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. One more story. We've got a little breaking news with Alabama basketball. We'll tell you about that after I tell you about our guy, Alexander Shunnarah. Trial attorneys, Alexander Shunnarah trial attorneys. They've been here in Birmingham for 24 years, more than 150 lawyers, 500 dedicated team members that have recovered more than $2 billion. One thing Alex wanted to do was create a firm that could handle any issue his community faced. So they now not only handle personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. Shunnarah.com. When you're in need of an attorney, Shunnarah.com. Nate Oates, according to multiple reports, has filled out his coaching staff Lance. Chris Fleming, an assistant with the Portland Trail Blazers, and he's also been an international coach in Germany. He's been also, give me 1 second to pull up his bio, with the Nuggets, Nets, and Bulls. As an assistant, was the lead assistant with the Bulls from 2019 to 2020. He is the new assistant replacing Ryan Pannone, who has taken the Arkansas State job. If this story sounds familiar, as Nick Kelly of AL.com points out, who covers Alabama, the three assistants that Nate Oates has hired from the NBA, Chris Fleming of the Trailblazers, Brian Adams of the Pistons, and Ryan Pannone of the Pelicans. He likes hiring these NBA guys. I mean, I don't know much about this guy at all.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's Nate Oates. It's his third consecutive NBA hire, though, so that tells you something.
Well, I mean, we know the NBA is 3-and-D, and that's basically what Oates wants to do, right?
Yep. So 3 straight hires, 3 straight NBA guys from Nate Oates. As Chris Fleming, according to multiple reports, is on the job in Tuscaloosa very, very soon. All right, that's going to do it for today's Next Round. If you're still around on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. Share the show when you can. We greatly appreciate that. If you haven't already done this, on demand, please go to your favorite on-demand site, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Google. It helps us a ton when you like, follow, subscribe, and turn on those automatic downloads. Please do that for us. We greatly appreciate it. We will be back with you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. The Meltdown coming up at 2. Tim Melton, Tyler Johns, Emily Grace McWhorter right there on the Disrupt the Media channel. Set your alerts for that as well and enjoy their show this afternoon at 2. Thanks a lot for joining us today. We'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow.